nervous, on the surface I look fine. My brain feels heavy, my traumatized mind. And I'm so tired, I can't feel my eyes. Whoa, whoa. I'm petty, but I know how to lie. I feel feelings that I can't describe. I'm not breathing, but I'm still alive. Whoa, whoa. But I think I'll be alright, 'cause I'm not giving up, I'm not giving up yet. I feel that it's my time, so I'ma give it everything. I'ma give it everything I got. So I'ma give it everything. I'ma give it everything I got. I'ma give it everything. I'ma give it everything I got. I still have hope. So many days have passed. I wait around for things to change, but change has not come fast. I'm asking all the questions, but then I question them. Like, what's the point of living, existing when you can't see your God in flesh? I'm looking for the answers, they say to pray instead. I think I'll find them one day, but with a helping hand. I know that it's not easy, but I believe I will. Yeah, I'll get over all my fears and really conquer everything. I think I'll be alright, 'cause I'm not giving up, I'm not giving up yet. I feel that it's my time, so I'ma give it everything. I'ma give it everything I got. So I'ma give it everything. I'ma give it everything I got. I'ma give it everything. I'ma give it everything I got.
Well, this one is a knocker. Step in on the dance and I just my dance. Everything scattered. Right? Right?
Come cross.
Right now, man, active. Start with the game like a bandit. Me bring the flame like a matches. Test me now. Without the slackness, active style and pattern, that's how I'm there. Active. Active. One live life massive. Talking up and off the brandish. Touch road and hold the world hostage. When I start the bumper clad mash pit. When me step out, old face get active. 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 Now. Clocks on the east side, bad bitch on each side. Big splits chillin' from the beach side. Run things where you feel like. Cake big, have a carve out the peace side. Freestyle now, millions for each line. Too cool, when I need ice in my beverage. Test this bigger, please find the exit. Right now, man, active. Gone with the game like a bandit. We bring the flame like a mattress. Let's me know. So don't just like this active style and pattern, that's how I'm there. Active. 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 One live like massive. Talking with an every brandish. Touch road and hold the world hostage. When I start the bumper clad mash pit. When we step out, all this get active. 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 Active.
Everything you want, but you can't have.
that's payback. Payback, yeah, you better take that. You could call me selfish and critical, I could take the blame. Just like I could take a match and send it up in flames. Don't say I didn't warn ya, this might hurt, but that's just karma. Better take that. Call it payback. Don't say I didn't warn ya. Stay mad, I know you wanna. This might hurt, but that's just karma. That's just karma. Go and play the part, play the victim. Throw a pity party with your demons. Blaming everybody and you're screaming, screaming. But I'm the one bleeding. You're the one that's selfish and critical, you could take the blame. Just like I could take a match and send it up in flames. Don't say I didn't warn ya, this might hurt. That's just karma. Better take that. Call it payback. Don't say I didn't warn ya. Stay mad, I know you wanna. This might hurt, but that's just karma. That's just
I'm craving hope in this darkness. You say I'm just a joke, just a joke. Shivers my spine so bad. Swimming in the river takes too much. We try to let go of us, but the truth is what's real and you want us. My darling, rose and fire. You're a liar. You say, my darling, rose and fire. In fire. You say, my darling, rose and fire. You're a liar. Shivers my spine so cold, so swimming in the rivers, swimming in the rivers. I'm trying to let go of us, but go of us, yeah.
long time, can't get you off my tired mind. Shadow, let the tape rewind and finally ease my anxious eyes. Oh no, I feel you creeping in, my body bleeding sin, I'm drowning. Heaven, can you save me now from these thoughts inside my head? God, you are the devil, running through my mind. I can't get on your level, I swear to God I tried. I am not under your spell. Turn around and turn ahead. You cannot be anymore. Oh my God, you are the devil. So hard to save. Hallowed by my love for you, always stop me going under. Follow every step I take, cause our walls are coming down. God, you are the devil, running through my mind. I can't get on your level, I swear to God I tried. I am not under your spell. Turn around and turn ahead. You cannot be anymore. Oh my God, you are the devil. In the back of my head and I'm dead. I got the devil inside me and everything that I see is red. Vision is blurry, I'm in a hurry, my skin is starting to shed quick. Call up the doctor, swallow some pills, maybe I'll wake up in bed. I'm a disaster, can I move faster? Honey, I'm off the edge. No point in stopping me, I'm at your property, gotta take care of that ledge. My friends are dead, I'm losing my head, I gotta get off of these meds. I am unstable, willing and able, give you this body to pledge. Oh my God, you are the devil. Oh my God, you are the devil.
Best to give me that loyalty. Best to give me that loyalty. Cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. Cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me royalty. They'll be calling me royalty.
I could be the one you talk to when you're feeling down. I could be the one you run to when the moon hits the ground. I can say what I'm feeling, but the words just don't come out. If you ever feel lonely, girl, just know I'll come around. 'Cause I've traveled so far just to get to where you are. And I know that you're broken, but that makes you who you are. So pick up the pieces and show me you mean it tonight. I know what you're feeling, I see that look in your eyes. So pick up the pieces and show me you mean it tonight. 'Cause what I've been dreaming is giving you my paradise. So pick up the pieces. So pick up the pieces. Baby, I'ma be there through the rough parts of it all. Holding your hand, fighting for the things that we want. Be the rock you lean on with you by my side. Baby, when we fall, together we'll rise. 'Cause I've traveled so far just to get to where you are. And I know that you're broken, but that makes you who you are. So pick up the pieces and show me you mean it tonight. I know what you're feeling, I see that look in your eyes. So pick up the pieces and show me you mean it tonight. 'Cause what I've been dreaming is giving you my paradise. So pick up the pieces. So pick up the pieces. Show me you mean it tonight.
Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, gamers, Dota2 fans from around the world, welcome to Arena Esports Tournament, powered by Etisalat, by and Ad Gaming as a strategic partner, and Playtonia Esports as the broadcasting partner. I'm Shaky, this is Edu, and I'll be your host throughout this thrilling Dota2 competition today. Edu, how are you doing today, mate?
I'm doing pretty good. Looking like we are going to be getting into a pretty exciting game here to see what happens. Obviously, as you said, we got a lot to work through. Hopefully, we're going to be seeing some good stuff forward. But Shaky, I'm mostly worried about how this game's going to be looking in the fact that Team Random has already been in this position for them. So we've talked a lot about what's been on the line here for these teams. We've seen a few of these teams before, so it's nice to see them really freshen up to jump back into it. So, Shaky, the last time we casted together, I think Team Random was on that roster.
Definitely, yeah. No, we've seen a lot of action from these teams, and it's exciting to see how they've progressed throughout the tournament. And obviously, there's a lot of talent that goes about this. The first time we cast together in those Dota 2 games that we were seeing, I was pleasantly surprised at the caliber of Dota that we were seeing coming from these players. I'm excited to see what they're going to bring today. Obviously, today being a monthly qualifier, we'll see who moves on to the next part of this amazing tournament. But yeah, just to answer your question, mate, I'm just so excited to see what is going to be on the table today for these teams.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they are going to be playing better than they did last time. Obviously, Team Random, they didn't make it through. They fought against another team that also made it through last week or last event here. So in the Q1, we saw it was Team Random versus Team the last time we casted, and it looks like we did see one team move on here. Team was successful in that most recent one. So honestly, with the meta kind of shifting around in the most recent updates, I mean, the last time we casted in between that and now, we had the entire international. We saw some new strategies be pulled out. We saw a lot of gameplay that can really impact these players as we are going to be moving into it. So I'm excited to see what is going to be going down. I really want to know what kind of hero compositions these players want to be rocking in. The meta is always defined by what is honestly feels the best to play, in my opinion, with Dota, because everybody in this game, all characters have a niche, and it's really just how you deal with that as a 5. Obviously, Primal Beast I can see as a permanent ban with the current meta, but what are your expectations moving in here?
So when the international happened, we saw a lot of different type of drafts and everything happen. I'm quite keen to see what's going to be playing. My most favorite part of a game is purely seeing the drafting phase, seeing what they bring to the table, and purely the technique of drafting. Are we going to be seeing supports being picked off the bat with the cores coming in a bit later? Obviously, the whole dynamic of the drafting phase has changed a little bit with a few things. I think it's our one pick, and we're going to a ban phase, and then from then on, it's going on into getting out your the other 4. But yeah, looking at the tournament rollout today, a lot of things coming up forward. Obviously, you were talking a little bit about Team that we saw the other day playing as well. There's so much happening, and I'm really keen to see where this team's going to come out and get that champion spot. There's so much talent happening, but yeah, that's pretty much the answer I have for you, Edu.
Yeah, and looking at this roster of roadmaps, we got a lot to look at. Obviously, there are still so many games to be had. We're right now only in the monthly finals Q2. We still have a Q3 and a Q4, and then, of course, playoffs are going to be bringing us forward here. And if we do get to those playoff stages, it's going to be exciting to see who actually makes it all the way in. Because if we see these teams and have seen these teams with the caliber that they play at, I'm expecting by the time we get to the playoff stage alone, we should be experiencing some insanely high stakes gameplay. But right now in this Q2, we got a lot of money on the line already. There's a lot for these players to work their way through. But as we do know, Shaky, these players aren't shaky. They know how to really just lock it in. They're not nervous to be here. They've been here before, especially Team Random. So this is not going to be easy for them to, lose twice. I'm hoping that they are going to be able to really lock in this time.
No, no, definitely. I wouldn't want them to be shaky in this game. There's a lot on the line, to be honest, and it's going to be up to them to really put in that extra effort to make or break. This is going to happen. We were going over that roadmap as well, and there's still so much left of this tournament to continue. We've only casted a few. We're only in the second phase of this tournament so far. Like I said, there's so much more of these teams that we can see, but obviously. The Arena Esports DOTA2 tournament is where the skill coordination and innovation come together. And that's what we're going to see today, hopefully. I mean, the teams from across MENA have gathered here to showcase their prowess in this battle arena. Every move will determine who emerges the ultimate champion. And that's what I'm looking for today. I'm looking on those minute differences. At the TI, we saw teams not making a single mistake, and still they lost to other teams. And that's pretty much what it boils down to. And that's what I want to see today. Are these teams going to really try and buffer out those little mistakes and get to the ultimate point where they can take over the game and get to destroying the Ancient?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's defense of the ancients. It's Dota. That's how the way it works. And if these guys can't defend it, then they don't get to stay here. But with everything that we've seen from these teams, I can expect some high-level gameplay. I can expect some fast-paced core action. And I'm hoping that we're going to be doing more play-by-play than we do color, because when it comes down to Dota, it can have some lull periods, as we are going to be moving into that early stage of the round for about the first 10-15 minutes, unless these players really like to act fast. Now, remembering back and harkening back over to what we saw from Team Random the last time, is that they were very aggressive on the early ways, and then they lost it in the mid game. And the main reason for that is they kind of got a little bit overheated a lot. They wanted a lot of kills all the time, and they just weren't given that space that they wanted. So, as we all know, the biggest meme of Dota 2 is space created. And if we don't see the space happen, then we're not going to be in a best of moods. But, of course, as we talked about, it's not just Team Random here. It's also Woofer fans, which I haven't had an honor of casting over before. But if they have a cute dog as their icon, Shaky, then I can say with confidence that I know who I'm rooting for today.
Man, I've been burnt, The other day I was casting Swally with a bit of PUBG Mobile, and we were going over, funny enough, logos, and we were discussing about what was our favorite, what logo really stood out for us, determining from the logo and the effort that they've put into that logo, that surely should give us the idea of who is going to come victorious. And you know what? The person with the best logo were the people that didn't really get any points. So today, the people with the Woofer fans, I hope I'm wrong. I agree with you. I really like this logo. Same thing with Team Random. They've got that really nice, exciting thing. But back to the game at hand. We saw a lot happening in that first game, like you said. Early game is pretty much where the strong points of these teams are. We've seen it a lot. Team was exactly the same, even though they faltered a bit. When they moved on to the next game that we're playing, after that, they also were really dominating in the first half, but then absolutely fell off towards the second. And that's kind of what I've seen a lot of these teams. The issue that they deal with is having to keep that consistency, and that's pretty much where it's key. I mean, Dota is an objective-based game. If you don't push those objectives after you've gotten all these kills, it's going to give that enemy team a lot to play with. So I'm excited to see what these two teams are going to be giving us today.
Yeah, thinking that what we can expect from these based off of the last time, I want to see a Nature's Prophet not get banned. I think Nature's Prophet has had a great showcase in the meta recently. Obviously, we didn't see much of them at TI, but the thing about Nature's is that you open up the door for insane early game power. Team Random brought that last time. Woofer fans, not sure what they're going to be bringing to our table today, but they should be pretty hungry to eat down on a team that might not have what it takes to beat them. Obviously, it's the first time Woofer fans has actually gotten here. And if we talk about the main bracket, everything that we've seen to get to this point, some names that you might recognize from other weeks are also here. Gamax Esports. When I last casted, Gamax was another one. They got eliminated here very swiftly by Woofer fans. So I would say that, Gamax Esports, they were the heaviest hitters in this bracket, and then Woofer just came up and demolished everyone. They beat Team Disaster, they beat Rakuzan, they beat New Aleppo, they beat everybody on their road here, obviously, but it's how they beat them swiftly. I don't think a lot of their games went longer than 35 minutes. I mean, that says a lot in the current meta where it's a late game kind of game right now. So I'm scared for Team Random because this cute puppy, they want to start teething, and they're going to use this team as a teething toy to train their bite to get into that finals.
You're really trying hard on this one, aren't you?
I don't try hard at all. This is just my brain is running at 1,000,000 miles an hour right now.
Sees the dog and just want to talk about the dog.
Dude, I love dogs,
I love it.
man.
I love it. I love it. It adds a bit of spice. It's always good. And it's exactly what you said. These teams have to really put it down and, dig for that opportunity to get somewhere. And if the treat comes out, then they're going to be one happy puppy ending of this day today. But it all needs to be said that we are still excited to see what's going to happen in terms of draft. You said, Nature's Prophet. You keen on seeing that banned or picked?
I'm keen on seeing it picked if it's not banned. It's either it's a 50-50. I think no matter what, on the screen today, a Nature's Prophet will appear. Whether it's in the ban section or the pick section is up to these players themselves. But with how these guys have been able to duke it out in the past, it also comes down to how much research have you done? A lot of esports organizations, 50% of what they do besides scrimming and actually playing in events is also R&D. Researching, making sure that they know who they're going up against here. So obviously, because Team Random has been on stream before, that gives Woofer fans an edge. They get the ability to VOD review over how this team previously has played. And Shaky, that's a power move. If you can be like, oh, I see where you guys mess up, and I'm going to either break your kneecaps early before you even get in, that's a bold statement here.
Indeed, it is. Obviously, like you said, preparation work is the forefront of winning games. If anyone's ever watched any sort of esports tournament that's on LAN, you see these teams and team captains with stacks and stacks of paper. They have so much information in front of us where they've discussed and gone over the teams. And that's pretty much, I think, what these teams are going to be doing as well. They want to know what they're going up against, because at the end of the day, drafting phase, like I said in the beginning, that's where the magic's at. If you can beat the team in that first part of the drafting phase and you can try and go after their mental, that's when you're going to start shining. So if I could see anything, I'd love to see a bit of counterplay. Obviously, teams going to be seeing some bans that they're not really going to be happy with because of the, like you said, the R&D that's been done. So it's exciting to see how they're going to be working around that. Are they going to be picking still around the same dynamic that they want, or they're going to be looking for those very cheesy picks, as I've seen so many Warlocks. I just don't want to see more Warlocks or Dark Widows with Legion Commander combos. It's been too much for me, really. I think I'm a bit emotional about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of odd combinations. Actually, I was looking on the DOTA2 esports Reddit, and an insane strategy that's really come up has been with Spirit Breaker. I mean, Team Spirit Breaker, nowadays known as, thanks to the international, but the way that SB has been incorporated into just a steamrolling, bulldozing bull is crazy here. Obviously, if you didn't know, this is the strat. You have Dark Willow and you have Grimstroke with an off lane on a Spirit Breaker. If Grimstroke applies the stun as well as Dark Willow, you get a speed boost, which makes it so this guy's charging at 3,000 movement speed. Not fun. Not nice to deal with. I mean, 3K movement speed, that is across the map in 3 seconds. That's exactly the way that you want to be seeing it. So it's a bold statement to be made if you can get a proper build going, and we can see some nice combos. As right now, the meta for Dota 2 has been really what is the best combination of support plus offlane. Mid and carry are more so I'm a PA or I'm someone mid who can do damage, while the offlane meta has been really just the backbone of a whole team. You need the initiation from it. You need your supports to be the initiators into fights. And carries spent the first 25 minutes usually farming. So in this meta right now, that offlane pick is crucial to seeing how the game's actually going to be played out.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I like the fact that the game has gone that way. In 2018, if I'm not mistaken, we saw a really strong emphasis on 4 Protect 1. 2018, 2019, there was a lot of games being played around the off lane specifically. If you won generally the off lane, there was a high percentage chance that you will win the rest of the game. Now, obviously, OG kind of coined that term. They kind of made it into something where Anna was the one that was always on the safe lane, just being left alone to farm. And then come around 40 minutes, the game is completely done. Even if OG was behind, they would always come back because the off lane was the place to be. Now, I think it's a bit of a hybrid. Obviously, with Spirit Breaker being a bit more global, it adds so much extra layers to that. You have an ability to kind of be all over the map every single second of the game. And that helps a lot. So I'm excited to see how they're going to play around this off lane. Mid obviously has a massive emphasis. The teams need to be making sure that they obviously use that mid hero to rotate at regular intervals. And for those of you guys that are probably more of League fans that's tuning in today to watch a bit of Dota, this is a global ability from Spirit Breaker, and it's I think it goes to say that it's very annoying to play against. So, in my opinion, to sum it all up, I want Spirit Breaker to be banned. Simple as that.
Yeah, I'm expecting Spirit Breaker to be banned, Primal Beast to be banned. There are some bans right now that it doesn't matter who you're playing against. It's just these are characters you do not want to see. But looks like the first 2 bans that we're actually going to be seeing coming out here from Team Random is actually going to be Dazzle and Brewmaster. And then you talk about Woofer fans who want to talk about the offlane. They've banned 3 great offlane picks, make it 4 with a pause for getting banned as well. So yeah, no Spirit Breaker, no strategy of that coming out of the 4 works. But Team Random, because Woofer fans is banning so many of the default bans, they have the power to ban player specific things. Maybe they've done their research, because Dazzle and Brewmaster honestly haven't really been that keen on the meta in a while. So it's nice. Well, maybe Brewmaster, but Dazzle, I wouldn't put a second ban there. CK definitely would, though.
Yeah, it's interesting the type of bans that's going to come out. Grimstroke, we were just talking about how strong this hero is right now. It's good to see that being picked up as well. But Spirit Breaker has been banned out. Tree and Protect is extremely strong right now. Phoenix, you know what? Funny enough, I played the Phoenix Plus 4 the other day, and I'm very satisfied about where this hero is at right now. If they play this well enough, they should be able to really dominate this team fights. They don't have to worry about a Bristleback running at them. They don't have to worry about a Kunkka disrupting anything to try and stop people from defending the Phoenix Egg. And they obviously don't have the Tree and Protect after the Spirit Breaker to, again, disrupt. So a good amount of picks. A good amount of bans as well. I'm interested to see what they're going to follow up next with. Obviously, I think Woofer fans need to try and avoid something that's going to be really good against a Phoenix. Stuff like snipers, PLs, PAs. CK was a great counter, but that was just banned before. And there goes the ban that you wanted to see as well, my friend.
Yeah, Primal not being a thing anymore is great. I would think if what we do know is if you see a Phoenix and they do not either pick a troll or ban a troll will get picked. Troll Warlord, probably the best carrier right now at the high tier level, in my opinion, against the Phoenix anyways. But we are seeing the Earth Spirit combination. That can actually help battle things out, kick people right back into the Supernova. I like that synergy from them. It is a very high skill hero, and these are high skill players, so it makes sense that we're going to be seeing an ES here. Now, onto the Grimstroke. Grimstroke, in my opinion, the last time we saw Team Random play, this Grimstroke was MVP. There was not a fight where there wasn't a 2-man ultimate immediately taking out 2 cores or both supports. It was so beautiful to watch. So if this is already what we're going to be looking at with the Grim, I am slightly concerned for the Woofer fans, as Grimstroke on this team specifically is one of the best supports. So looking at their next pick here, they are taking their time. They're not really sure what they want to lock in. Do they want to go carry, or do they want to go support, or maybe even a mid right now?
I think Lone Druid was definitely some sort of flex ban. They, I think Woofer knew that Random wanted to play that.
Oh.
Moreta's good. It's really, really good. It's difficult to deal with. It's not exactly the answer that they needed for Phoenix, but it's a good enough counter to Earth Spirit that they can use that silence, which is just a really good AoE silence that just stays on the ground. So Moreta can add a lot to the team fight and kind of try and help kill that Phoenix egg without being really stopped herself if she gets a BKB. So it's interesting to see what they're going to be picking on top of this Moreta. Obviously, we're still looking for that off lane. That's kind of where I think the biggest fight's going to happen around and where they need to focus the most amount. If Earth Spirit's going to be playing a pos 5, which might not be it. It could be a mid. We've obviously seen it replayed a lot mid, but it is still a very good support. It adds an extra layer onto that safe lane. So with this counter counting down, I think Random really thinking about what would be the best pick here. Possibly we're going to see a pos 3 going to get picked out to try and deal. Interesting.
I'm not a fan of the Pango. Last time we watched a Pango get picked, it was really just it came down to the fact that Pangolier is a character that really likes starting fights with zero capacity of finishing them without their team. And a lot of Pangos will be like, I do a ton of burst damage in the first 5 seconds of a fight. Afterwards, there's not much left. You turn into a ball, you roll around, you stun a few people, and there's not a lot of follow-up. So Pango is going to have to synergize well. I would want an off-lane Centaur, Magnus, something that can start a team fight here. Now, we talked about the Muerta a little bit there, and I gotta, ask a question. Are we sure that this is a core Muerta? Obviously, Muerta has been meta to be picked as a pos 4, be that off-lane support, be able to harass people easily, have the wonderful call down to get all those slows and the spirits to really just silence the players. So I don't think that we're going to be seeing something, but talking about that Centaur, it's immediately picked up back-to-back with the Sky Wrath, probably for mid as well. This is a strange way that Team Random is going to have to build around, honestly, a meta team composition and a very powerful one for Woofer fans.
Yeah, Woofer Skywrath Mace is just outright a counter to Merita. If Random wanted to decide to pick this as a core, Flex picked out Merita to kind of give them an idea, like, are we going to play this 4 or 1 or 2? Skywrath is the answer. That's just it. There's nothing Merita can do to a Skywrath up until that she gets a BKB. So really, really, really good counter pick from Woofer fans, and that's going to kind of give Random the thing that they need. And you mentioned the Troll really well as well. Troll's going to get picked up for Phoenix, and that's going to really establish what we're going to be looking at from Random's draft here. Troll's going to be on the position 1. I think Pango might be sitting towards more of I want to say mid. I really want to say mid, but it's tough because Pango goes top lane as a pos 3, or bot lane as a pos 3. Then it's going to be difficult going up against a Skywrath. The Skywrath decides to go support or Earth Spirit goes support, and that's kind of where the flex really happens here. Is that Woofer has a lot to play with here. Skywrath can play mid. Earth Spirit can play mid, and both of them will do fantastic in either lanes, being a support or core. So it puts I can't predict what Random's going to put out next, but this is really going to shape what their lineup is going to look like.
Honestly, I think with these picks, it's down to positioning. I think you're right about the Pango going mid. Troll, I'm glad that they managed to grab it. Looking at the final bans, they're still worried about a core here. So they banned a Luna and a Centaur. But wait a minute, that's exactly what they needed. A Magnus to combo with the Pango, to combo with the Grim, to combo with everybody. Because this team is brawl heavy, and they needed something to just glue everybody together, and nothing glues something like a whole team together like a reverse polarity perfectly timed. Obviously, though, that's where Phoenix comes in. 1 RP, you get your supernova off and you protect your team. That's where Troll counters. So the synergies between these teams, the counter picks and the main picks, have been really critical here. So the final pick is what matters most, and it's going to be a TB. Now, Shaky, I'm a little worried about the TB pick because, in my opinion, TB does great against tanky lineups, and this is a pretty squished lineup that Random's going into.
I hear what you're saying, But I think it's a complete answer to the Magnus. If you look at trying to play a Magnus in any sort of state, you want to make sure at all times that you can try and get the enemy team to bunch up. And if you look at the draft from Woofer fans, it's difficult. You have a Phoenix that's not going to be with the team. You're going to have a Skyroth that's not going to be with the team. You're going to have an Earth Spirit that's not going to be with the team. And the Centaur is probably going to be hanging around Terrorblade. So you have two people that you could possibly jump, but you want to really jump the Phoenix, because if you get the Phoenix, then the Troll can do his job. But it's also really good to jump the Skyrath, because the Skyrath is going to take out your Muerta. So there's a lot that the Magnus is going to have to think about before that they really can make a decision on who to jump with. And I think that's just going to come purely on where they stand in a team fight. So my money is going to be on Team Random, right? Yeah. Sorry, no, not Team Random. Team Woof. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good to see that we got similar ideas there. I was going to say that also Woofers, I think, just has a solid team comp to counter. The Muerta got counterpicked. I mean, Phoenix, yes, counterpicked, but the Skyrath Centaur combo is just such an early way to get kills that unless they are punished by immediate ganks and rotates, which should be happening here, we should be seeing very quick on the draw TPs. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, no, definitely, I agree with you. We want to see a lot of mobility here. They don't have the Spirit Breaker, but they've got the Earth Spirit. The Earth Spirit is going to offer them a lot in the early game. So that's where Woofers are going to really stand out strong here. And they've got I think, knowing Phoenix, we're probably going to see either Meme Hammer or Spirit Vessel being pushed for first. I'm going to lean more towards a Spirit Vessel because it's just so good against Troll and Muerta. And then if they want to really go for the Meme Hammer, they could make it work. You want to kind of jump in and disrupt as much as you can. But if I think anything, we're probably going to see a Spirit Vessel, Shiva's Lotus being built on that Phoenix, just to try and go as much utility as possible. Not even Lotus, probably just Lincolns or something. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting plays that we can see here. Centaur's going to be quite strong in this, where they've got that stun, which is really important, and then they've got that immediate initiated from Spirit Vessel from Earth Spirit. I want to see Random's point of view. I want to see that Magnus to be making a lot of points. Yes, you said obviously Pango jumps in, has got a few abilities, a little bit of damage, and then the roll up, it's going to be rolling around. That's where I think Magnus is going to have to play a really good key. If roll up happens, it needs to happen after the RP. Pango needs to kind of jump in with a swashbuckle, do a little bit of damage, then RP when they're all nice and clumped together to try and go for the Pango. Pango then has enough opportunity to then roll up, and then that will cause complete chaos to try and get these important kills off first. And that being said, getting that Phoenix and Skyroth out as quickly as they can.
Makes sense to me. Makes sense. What I will also say is right now, when it comes to this kind of team composition, silence is a big thing that they're going to be relying heavy on, whether that be from Grimstroke or whether that be from Muerta. Team Random, if they do not land these silences, are going to be absolutely curb stomped because you have to shut down the TB. TB's definitely going to be getting a Manta this game, no doubt about that, and probably the only player to get a Manta. So I should be experiencing maybe some Yules over on the Phoenix here, anything that can purge things. So we should be expecting to see a Guardian Greaves, a Lotus Orb, a Yule Scepter, and a Manta. If they don't get those items, if they don't properly build around the enemy team in that way, this game is going to be a stomp.
Yeah. I agree with you on the Lotus. I think the Lotus would be quite good. BKBs are going to be a must, I think, in my opinion. It's difficult, though, for Team Woofers to go BKB. Again, RP goes right through that, so you don't have any way to stop that. Pango roll-up, that's good to stop that. And Muerta's magical damage is also really good. So BKBs are probably your best bet to try and deal with that, even though it's not perfect. But you need to get your BKB off before the RP, really, which is going to make for some really fantastic planes. But 2 smokes up from both teams. We always see in the first few seconds of the game, really exciting things. Obviously, both teams need to try and go for bounties. We see both of them looking at going for that bot bounty. And I think they probably expected a little bit of a push from Team Random there, but Woofer's just they're gonna back away. But exciting game, go on, ladies and gentlemen, right now. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We have Team Random on the Dire side and Team Woofers on the Radiant side. So if you guys do enjoy this game, please give a subscribe to the channel, give a follow, and just have a good old time as we're gonna jump into this really shortly. 10 seconds to go before the game starts, but yeah, really excited and excited to gossip with you today, Edu.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how these guys are going to do or how we're going to do as we are getting away with both teams grabbing double bounties. And that's it. So nothing too crazy here. No fights. They did smoke to maybe find one, but they just looped each other. So I like this. It's been a pretty standard gameplay so far. They're going around. And now it comes down to where the lane stage is. Now, as you kind of called, you were expecting to see a mid here. And this is a great mid to lock it in. But I'm excited to see if these players are going to be able to rocket forward with a already decent amount of harassment. But wow, he's just going for it.
Yeah, no, it's that's the thing. I think it's pretty good. You want a melee matchup against a Spirit, but you also don't at the same time. Pango is fantastic. I think Muerta would have struggled really in this lane. Muerta looked to have taken up that support position. So Pango's got the swashbuckle, you know. He's got the shield bash. He's got the opportunity to still, you know, sustain. He's got a really good kit to deal with Earth Spirit. If Earth Spirit kicks him underneath the tower, he's got the escape. So he does have a really nice kit to deal with the situation. Yeah, a really interesting lane that they're gonna have to deal with. If this Earth Spirit knows what he does and he can play a good Earth Spirit mid, then it's definitely going to be good. Ooh, a lot of good action, but just not able to connect on it too much. Nice little tip back and forth as well.
Yeah, I like the amount of harassment that we're seeing. So offlane, Muerta, you do have that pause for Muerta. So honestly, I think the predictions that we made, pretty standard for the high level that we expect. Now, if you do have a support Muerta, there is a problem there. And I think you can recognize it as, how is she going to be able to scale enough? You know, she's already pretty low. Looks like Troll's almost dead bottom as well. So even though we are looking at mid, I'm looking at the HPs, and we might see first blood. And yeah, they actually grab the Centaur, but the trades come out immediately. And that's another one. A double kill top for the Troll. Not the best starting spot.
Well, at least they did get a sort of a trade. I mean, Muerta died bottom, so they managed to kind of equalize that a little bit for themselves. Actually, equalize it quite nicely as Team Random, I said, grabbed himself good. Yeah, looking at the itemization of these teams, Phoenix, it's very unique for me to see a Phoenix boss 5, really. I find that quite bizarre. Phoenix is a very damage-centric, I want to be moving a lot type of hero. The damage is good in this lane, but the problem that Phoenix does have is with that Icarus dive, it pushes out the lane. It creates a little bit of annoyance for the core, and they're going to struggle with dealing with that lane and dealing with those last hits. So if the Phoenix does too much, then they can struggle with that. Top lane also seeing a lot of excitement. You'd probably hope to see more damage coming out with the Skywrath Mage, but they'll just not be able to really focus on that too much.
Yeah, and now we're at a position where it's going to be a tough one. So far, so good, but honestly, I think I agree with you that the Phoenix isn't the best hard support, but I also know that the combination... Oh, he couldn't leave. Wait, what? Was he silenced? Why?
Yeah, that was very interesting.
He
again,
left.
Icarus Dive has got what? Level 1's got 25-26 second cooldown. It's got a very, very long cooldown. So it's about double probably a blink cooldown is. So you don't have a reliable escape. You don't have Dark Willow's ability to, you know, go away, come back. Top Savior, really good one pop there, but he's going to have to go down. They're going to say you're not going to be able to do that, mate. You're going to be able to get away with that. But yeah, Phoenix is not going to. He's not going to do well bottom. I'm going to call it right now. It's a very difficult hero to deal with. Your attack slow that you give with your fire spirits, Magnus doesn't care. He's got his Q to deal with that. So yeah, not much that they can really do in that bot lane. And knowing Terrorblade, he needs a really good start to be fantastic mid to late game, especially that mid game. So Terrorblade is in a bit of a trouble now.
Yeah, I think TB might have a bit of a concern going forward. Now, the real question is, are we going to be seeing any Midases here? I think that a Midas might actually be pulled out by maybe the ES, somebody to bring it up, maybe even TB. I mean, TB has the capability of going for that and trying to build it up. Are they going to go late game? Is that anytime I see a Midas that says, okay, we're going to be here a while. And as we know, in the TI, we saw one team buy 6 Midases. I don't know how they do that. So it's just... It's been an odd game, but I'm excited to see who's going to be taking most of this. But let's talk more about Skywrath versus the Phoenix. Skywrath Centaur, the second 6 is on the board, which is going to be in the next like minute and a half here, maybe 2 minutes later. We should be experiencing a huge spike in the power that the Radiant have.
Oh, no, definitely. I definitely agree with you on that one. Centaur's got... Oh, but talk about Spike. That Inkswell is just too much to deal with. He's going to go down. And we're waiting for that level 6 in this off lane. But Grimstroke, the reason why he's so strong, and is exactly this. You've got so many abilities that you can use off the bat. He's a brawler. He's a type of hero that can fight from level 2 onwards. And you can have that threat and that kill potential in lane. And with a hero like Troll that has a lot of slow with those axes, it's very difficult to deal with. But a 6 going to come up mid. I think Kemps is not going to be able to get that kill. TP's immediately in from Huerta. They're not going to be able to capitalize on that kill, but he has focused that Pango back into base. And a nice little bottle swap refill as well for Kemps. So that's going to be really valuable, and it's going to help him not having to back to be on the same level as that Pango with full health.
Yeah, and now I think that we should be... Wait, Muerta might get caught out. Nice fear, and... Kev's
just looking for the runes.
Yeah, they're looking for the runes, but that's a level 3 Muerta. So I think he could have done a decent amount. And actually, power runes, it's a smart idea, but is he going to actually get to top in time?
Not necessarily, but he's actually went immediately for the TP. He's got the roll in, but it's not going to be enough damage. The silence from Grimstroke was so essential in stopping that, and the boulder smash doesn't even connect as well. And that's such a good play from Team Random, as they forced the double damage rune, they forced the TP from the mid, and now the Earthspirit's going to have to walk back to lane with hardly any mana left, has to pop his bottle charges, and is going to have to wait another minute and 20 seconds before he can actually refill again. And Pago just gets a free lane. So really well played by Random.
Yeah, well played. I mean, Random has just been able to really own this early game. And if we harken back to that last time we saw them play, that's what they do. That's what they have done. It's just their mid game is where I'm a little bit afraid, because are they going to be balancing that? Are they going to get enough farm on the troll that isn't kill heavy or kill dependent? That's the real question, because as of right now, it's still back and forth, because even if they are getting a few more kills than the Radiant are farming efficiently. Still, we have a TB sitting at the highest last hits, ton of denies as well. So if they don't shut down the TB soon, then they're going to have to leave this early game with a, cold realization that their carry has free farmed for most of this.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think Troll's having a much better lane than this Terrorblade is having right now. And Phoenix can only do so much. Again, Murta's going to come in. If a Pathetic lands this, it's going to be really good. He's already popped that Icarus dive, and here comes Savior. And they're just going to do what they need to do. Metamorphosis has been popped by Terrorblade, but I don't believe that he's going to be able to do much on this. Good rotation going to come out immediately from Woofers, though. The rope's going to come from Pango. That's going to be actually from Random. They're going to be able to pull the back. The ARP is going to land immediately on the back. That's going to really stop this Metamorphosis from doing a lot. But Pango's missing up all the roll stuns. Lol's going to have to back away. Metamorphosis might be in trouble, but a really good look at that ability being popped by Magnus. Going to pop him back a little bit more. Body block's going to come out from Kemp, as he's able to utilize that invis to try and stop them there, and evidently gave the kill to Creeper. So Random did really well there, but man, Pango messed up with those rolls. And you even mentioned it before. What does a Pango do? Well, if he doesn't land his rolls, that's exactly what happens.
Yeah, it's a risky play, but honestly, I love the fact that they were able to, play smart and just be like, okay, we're playing for the late game. It was a decent amount of fights. They managed to get a few trade-offs, but that body block, I gotta point it out, because it's such a simple mechanic. Don't break your invis, body block instead, and then just guarantee the kill from a passive angle, and then give that kill over. Smart plays like that is what makes Team Random already eligible to get into the finals here. But Are they going to qualify? I'm hoping that they're going to be able to do something, but Woofers is just kicking the butt of top right now. And if that troll dies, you were saying that the trolls had a better lane, and I don't think he's going to be having a happy lane anymore. They are bullying him top.
Yeah, 9 minutes in, you don't want to be being jumped behind your tier 1. They're going to try and answer for this. Good ult going to come out from the center. They're going to be able to push back. Kem's going to try and get this boulder slash in the slow. That's going to give them that double kill in the mid lane. But now it keeps standing. Pango does have the mana boots to be able to roll up. He's got the cliffs to play off to get the initiate and the stun. So Apathetic can get the damage done. And he's going to actually get lucky by jumping down as the Earth Spirit went down as well. So that's going to help them get that kill on Habibi. They still have much more to play on. Kiri is on the back with the Skyroth, still looking for more damage to be done. We do have a lot being dealt with on that centaur. He's going to go down, and Finney's going to have to dive away. Immediately going to go for that egg. Do they have the right clicks? They do. So that egg's going to be taken out immediately. And that's just Phoenix, you know? That TP from Xavier was good.
Yeah, I mean, that's just not it. But I think that the Centaur and the Phoenix are the biggest downside to this team in the early game, but the greatest strength in the late game. If they are able to, you know, have this TB, do what he's doing right now, just keep bullying. I like that he's getting first item Manta. He's working his way through, and every time that we're seeing Creepa go for kills, Kremps just comes right on in and finishes the job. So that's a killing spree on a TB, and they are so close to getting that Manta, which should help them farm dramatically.
No, it will help them a lot. That Manta is I mean, Metamorphosis, basically, to put for those of you guys that don't know, Terrorblade, Metamorphosis, if you pop Metamorphosis, any sort of illusion that you have around with you gets that buff as well. Good stun. Soulbide's going to come through from Savior. That might give them up, but they don't really have any utility to use on top of that. So there's no stun that's going to come through that. TP's going to come out from the back end, but he's going to have to cancel it as Habibi's there with a Swashbuckle. So a nice little interaction between Random and Woofers, but not be able to get too much out of it. But so far, 10 and 10 with a 1k lead going towards Team Random, and they're doing good, you know. I think Woofers have they've kind of brought themselves back in. That kill on Troll top lane was really good, and now just like Random has done, they're gonna have to try and get a smoke and try and get this momentum back as slowly the net worth momentum is going towards Woofers' favor, as that Terrorblade is getting a lot of farm.
Yeah, I mean, TB farmed up, and all the kill deficit that we saw from Team Random early has been lost, but might be able to change up here. Creepa, though, instantly huge ultimate with the RPs coming in to try to clean it up, and that's a lot of damage. And this time, he's not going to be able to escape. All three players working in tandem to get that pick onto a massive target. There goes his killing spree, his money. It is split amongst more people, but unfortunately, Shaky, that was expensive for the side here, and I think Muerta will not be able to escape, so they do get some retribution for their teammate, but at the end of the day, a dead TB is not good.
No, it isn't good at all. Apathetic, even though he was support, that was actually, I don't know what I'm saying. Terrorblade dying, that trade was not good at all. Woofers have, even though they try to mitigate that loss a little bit, it's kind of given Troll a bit more of an opportunity to get back. He's got the ability to farm harder. Obviously, they've got the Magnus, so he can farm so quick without even needing that Battle Fury, but he's still going to go for it, in fact. But he's about 200 gold away, I think 100. He's going to start catching up, and that's his net worth going ahead of Terrorblade. And Terrorblade now has to work twice as hard to try and get this lead back. And Battlefield has been bought up as well, so Sensitive's got a really good chance to get back into this game.
Let's see it now. Looking like they have the ability to maybe lock it in. I like the fact that we're seeing a decent build from the side of the Pango, but ES going for a blade mail. I'm just looking at these items right now, and I think that Centaur are trying to build up best that they can, but so far a lot of these supports have taken a back seat, and it's TB who I think is the majority, if not most, of the net worth for this entire team. You're looking at some, like right now, this Pause 4 is doing worse on the Skywrath money-wise than the Phoenix is. This Phoenix has been able to get some farm back, and I think that's a bad thing. If Skywrath cannot get online soon, at least with an Atos or some way to shut these players down, that could just ripple into a few rounds here. So Skywrath, you need to pick up the pace. You are 2 levels behind your hard support.
No, definitely. Skywrath, it relies on intelligence. More intelligence, more damage. But we do see initiation is going to come through. Wall's going to go out. And it looks like just a little bit of a touch and go. They scare each other, you know, and then they're gonna leave from there. So it's, yeah, I mean, having Centaur, that's just kind of a given to try and initiate like that, but they're not going to get much for it.
Ooh, big initiation. Already a blink online, but the silence actually comes through. Doesn't let him pull anybody away, but unfortunately, this is going to be 2 dead players down mid. But just kidding. That's a huge TP in. And we do see another cleanup, though. But was it worth it, Centaur? I would say no. That is a massive, just, I think, a little bit of a sell there coming out from Woofers trying to save their mid. And in response, they might lose 4.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said that they need to be doing. Magnus needs to be jumping the supports, and he did it so well. Even though he missed the core a little bit there, he managed to grab the Phoenix. They got the Soulbind. They got everything that they needed to stop that Phoenix from getting that egg off and getting that team to collapse back onto her. And that's all they needed. When Phoenix dropped, the whole team was in disarray. They couldn't really work with anything. There was no way for them to keep fighting. And all they had to do is keep the... I think just burn time as long as they can so Terrorblade can keep farming top end. But yeah, what a good play by that Magnus, and exactly what he needed to do in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, beautiful initiation. The second they got their Blink Dagger, they were on him. So, good timing. It's 15 minutes in. We're seeing them already be aggro.
Oh, no.
Oh, nice ultimate. Saved them there. Good job.
That Stampede helped him so much.
If they didn't stamp, I don't think they would have gotten anything. And now they're going to counter initiate because they know a lot of this utility is down here. And they have just enough wards. They are going to spot him out. But unfortunately, that Skywrath is spotted. But they're assuming correctly that if there is a Skywrath, there probably is a few more people that are going to emerge from a smoke.
Yeah, I mean, the wards were putting up high ground while they were smoked. So, yeah, I think it's pretty easy for them to pick up that there might be a snake in the grass in that one. But so far, we're seeing a little bit of a push back now, Edu. Random, they've done really well. That fight has given them a 4K lead, and Troll has now got himself a very, very comfy 800 gold lead over the Terrorblade, even though Terrorblade wasn't a part of that fight. And no matter how hard he farms, he's not going to be able to get that XP and gold that they got in that fight. So Random is doing really, really well. I'm quite surprised at their ability to bring this back into this game.
Yeah, and honestly, I like the fact that we see both teams split off, and it's really who's going to be taking it. There is that Centaur Skywrath combo that is very strong. We're actually seeing an ultimate coming out here from the ES. Earth Spirit might be able to grab Savior, but Savior just jukes it just enough, and with the magic wand charge, dude is safe. But just kidding, you're not as safe as you could be. That's going to be a trade back. The Muertes pop the ultimate, might be able to secure the kill, and even more comes in. The Magnus and the Pango are going to finish it off. And can you get out? Yes, you can.
Oh, my word.
So close. And that fight, honestly, was worth it. They used a lot of utility, a lot of ultimates, but they got out with only 1 death, and they took out the troll.
Yeah, it's all about time. And Woofers are playing the OG game. Creeper, he's fighting. He doesn't want to be a part of any fights right now. He wants to get this Eye of Scotty up. He wants to get these items. The Eye of Scotty is going to be fantastic against the troll. So he wants to keep farming as much as possible. It looks like Sensitive, he TP'd down to farm, but he's going to ping it out for his team saying, we know that Terrorblade's there. But even with that fight, Terrorblade wasn't a part of that fight, but he's now ahead in net worth because all they need to do is buy time. The more time Troll's fighting and not getting any kills, the more better off Creeper's going to be in the late game.
Yeah, as long as Creeper just keeps focusing on farming and letting their offlane, as we talked about in the, even pre-game, the meta right now is let your offlanes do the work. And right now, I think this offlane's not doing so much of working as it is feeding. Looks like we're going to be seeing 1 and 2 getting picked off, but now Creeper left the jungle to here to finish him off. Might be able to, yes, take out the troll there. But wait, with the troll now dead and the Grim, are they going to be able to get out? Unfortunately, that is another dead player, so 4 for the price of 2. That ain't a good trade.
Not at all. It's good for Creeper. He can buy more items. He's close to one of the items for the Eye of Scotty, but it's not good. They lost all the key players. Centaur went down. If Centaur was still up, and the Skyrot died instead, they might have an opportunity to capitalize on that kill from the troll. But I mean, Magnus just hits so hard, so not much more they can do in that fight. But really good fight though. I think Woofers they're slowly clawing themselves back, but unfortunately with that one, I think they fell to a bit of bad luck.
Yeah, and honestly, looking at this bad luck now, the win probability is actually moving heavily over to Team Random. They've really been able to, keep it going. That huge team fight. It's just this Magnus is so thick when it comes to damage. The power of Empower. Dude has 200 DPS plus an Echo Saber to smack the living life out of someone. It's a big scaling. And you compare that over to mid on the side of ES. This is the player who I would say should be able to shut down the most, maybe have an urn, a spirit vessel for the troll, the Magnus, maybe the Muerta. And they don't have much besides blade mail, and Muerta has a lot more farm than most of these supports anyways. And we are going to be seeing a Midas, but another
Stampede used. Yeah, that's basically it. Stampede is in all fairness, I think Stampede's a great ability. We've seen it being used for different ways in this game. They've used it to initiate, and they've used it, I think, primarily to run away from fights. So, good plays, but yeah, it's a bit difficult for Curtin to get what he needs to get in these fights. So so far though, he still hasn't gotten any boots, which I quite like. He's gone straight for the Vanguard. He's gotten straight for Blink, straight for Blade Mail. He says, "I need boots, mate. I've died so much in lane, and there's no point in buying a 500 gold item." So he went straight for the very important items, which I do respect though, because it does give them opportunity. Without Blink and Blade Mail, he can still do a lot in a fight without having those boots.
Yeah, I think you're right. They do have a lot of potential. We don't really need to see that much here from ES movement-wise, but look at this Pango. Compare Pango mid to Earth Spirit. In money, this guy has more farm than TB right now, and that's scary. The dude has Diffusal to keep up with fights. They have so much to really lock them down here, and that could be the doom for them. But Shaky, it looks like we are going to be seeing Roche get taken already here. Sensitive is ready to keep it moving, but I like this. I think this could be a make or break that will kill, unfortunately, game one. Random, this is the one time you have to just honestly push himself so far behind. This could be the end.
Yeah, it could be, definitely. They that's a big one. 6k lead. Even how farmed the Terrorblade could be, he doesn't, and it comes back to something you mentioned really well, it's your flame. Magnus is in a really good spot right now. Like, let's not lie. LOL, he's doing fantastic. He's got the items that he needed. He's hitting like an absolute tank. So they've got that rush. They're going to smoke up, and this is where it gets dangerous. Woofers needs to realize that any mistake they make right now is only going to further the net worth lead that Random has on them. And that tier 2 tower falling, that's going to allow them to completely take control of this bottom jungle. So Woofer's going to have to play, as we see on the map, moving up to top lane. They're going to try and farm it out. Terrorblade's going to use all of the illusions he can to try and farm as quickly as he can. But they need those key items. I think at the moment... Oh, wait, LOL? LOL's got a harpoon? Good stun, though.
Oh, my God.
That's going to... That was very, very close. Soulbard's going to be used on the backline as well as Magnus, as Curtis going to take that one. They're going to be pushed back immediately. Phoenix going to push forward with that Icarus dive. But what a harpoon. It just shows, even if you have a blink, if the harpoon has been casted, you are getting pulled towards that person. That was very close. Magnus going down, that not what they needed, but not the end of the world, I think.
Yeah, it's not the end, but what might be the end here is honestly the streak that we saw the Magnus have. I think that they had an amazing time getting all the way up to having that harpoon, as you've called it, but I think the main problem is that was such a risky and aggressive play, and it didn't actually cash out into a kill for them. So we saw that happen a few times before. If you recall, last time we watched them, they had a horrible attempt at getting some early kills like that in this stage of the game, and you do that once, shame on you. Do it twice, you'll lose the game. I mean, it really starts scaling to be a big problem for you.
Yeah, no, the scaling problem is always a big problem. I think it with Troll, it's difficult really. Troll is such a what's the right word? Such an interesting carry to play around. He can be very strong, but he can be very weak. Ooh, might actually wait a minute. Troll, that's a long stunt to deal with. BKB's going to get popped on 4. No, that's not what you need. Sensitive's going to pop his BKB. He still has 2 minutes on the Aegis, but that's just going to extend this timer on by another minute and 20 seconds before they can actually pick a fight again.
Wow. Oh, no. Okay, Phoenix will be able to get out. I like the save there from Kemps.
No swashbuckle to really get on top of that.
I like how this playstyle that they're doing right now, this is the reason that they lost last time. If you recall, the last time that we saw a huge risk that these players did, it's them diving. And they just dove a tier 3 again without even having a T2.
Exactly.
If you keep doing that, it's going to bite you in the butt.
Exactly, yeah. No, exactly that. If you're going to keep jumping like that, it's gonna cause you a lot of mistakes. And so they need to worry, they need to really look after themselves a bit better. I think it was all the Centaur's blink was just so on point there. But I'm going to stop myself quickly because a little bit of action is broken out. They do get the 1 kill, but the Sunray's there, so they might have got actually that shot on the Phoenix. That Sunray's going to push them back a little bit more. They don't have any damage to deal with it, but look at that. The Aegis comes back in time. They've only lost the Muertas, so they still have an opportunity to fight this. But Troll's falling low. He's been silenced. Here comes the back, and then they got the LP going to land up, but there's the swapper on as well from this TP, but he's going to die immediately as the damage is a bit too much. The Troll Sensitive just doing too much damage, and look at that, LOL, as he goes forward, and he gets the kill on Phoenix as they've managed to get the kill on Woofers, and what a team fight. Wow, so much action going through in that fight.
Wow. I mean, good job. 100%. They were really able to lock it in, and I said that they might be over aggressive, and they proved that they are just the right amount, the Goldilocks method of aggression, and it's going to help out. But wait a minute, we still should be able to see them maybe get a defense going. They have Centaur, who can jump right on in, and here he goes, but yeah, it's more just a scare tactic right now, but this ain't a horror movie. This is a game of Dota, and it is going to work out to get the Pangolier, and Pango dead for 65 seconds and giving up over 1,000 gold to these two players is huge. That could be the start of something, but there's still an 8k gold differential between these players. So even though they lost to Pango, just because they lose one doesn't mean that they're going to lose at all. As Troll, dude is diffing these players when it comes to net worth.
You know, looking at that team fight that we witnessed with that team kill from Random on Woofers, I think what lost them that fight was the Phoenix popping the egg just before, well, just like a little bit before Troll died. So in the time that Troll, the egg got popped, Troll was alive for a little bit. He then died. He came back to life, and the time they took him back to life, the egg finished. So it was great that they got that kill, but when the Troll came back alive, Magnus was able to just jump back in, get that RP. The Sunder tried to help out on Terrorblade, but it was too much damage being dealt to really, you know, sustain that fight. So I think if the Phoenix held on to that ability for a little bit longer, they might have actually been able to win that fight. But again, I think it's difficult because the Magnus is just running around with that RP. So yeah, I think I'll end it on that as just saying it's a difficult, a very high ground, high intense fights that Woofers need to think about before they go in.
Yeah, I think right now what Woofers is mainly trying to do, looking at these items, their main concern has been Troll and has been working together. But I gotta say, Earth Spirit, Octarine Core. What are your thoughts about that being second item? This guy has the I'm a Spirit Breaker build, but I'm not playing Spirit Breaker. He's playing a Spirit, but not the same one. Octarine, it's odd.
I think it's definitely something that has been built on Earth Spirit a lot. Earth Spirit, he dominates on his ability to use his abilities a lot. Octarine does give you that little bit of a cooldown reduction, so it's not a bad item. It gives you the stats that you're missing. It's just you need a bit more. I didn't. He doesn't have a BKB, if I'm not mistaken, does he? I didn't see a BKB.
No BKB. So it's just Midas or Blade Mail into Midas into Octarine is the items. Yeah.
So what Earth Spirit really makes him strong is his ability to get in and out of fights. His roll cooldown without the Octarine core is already extremely low. So getting that Octarine core on top of that is going to help him get just be in and out of fights much quicker. Those remnants as well, you want to have as many remnants up as possible when you start a fight. Having a cooldown on that is really important. So I think the Octarine's not crazy. It's not deal breaking. The Phoenix is playing a bit of a hybrid role here with the Phoenix, that you've got that big support that can pop that big ult and push people back. So the Osprey doesn't have to have that job where he needs to try and jump into a fight and push the support this way, silent that support. They've got the Phoenix ability to jump on. The question is, if Phoenix gets taken out, then it's a bit of a different game. BKB not being up on Earth Spirit is going to make him susceptible to the silences of Grimstroke, to Muerta have to control him around, the magical damage from Muerta, the stuns from Pango, and Magnus's skewer. Obviously, Magnus's RP is still going to stun you in that BKB, but it makes it a little bit more difficult. So I think we can expect the BKB to be picked up on an Earth Spirit. Is there something that you would have liked to see differently?
I would have liked to have seen, if you're going ES and you're going like pure initiation, Octarine core, maybe not. Maybe you get yourself something that can lock people down. Rada Atos, you get yourself a Yules, you get yourself maybe even a Scythe of Vice. I think is so strong on you. When you're facing off against a troll, a Scythe can completely counter that character. And if you do it early on enough, you can turn this game around so fast. Because one Hex, and that is a free pick. So in my opinion, Scythe is really strong. Instead of Scythe, though, to lock down this player, it looks like he's actually going for a E-Blade. E-Blade, I think, is strong because most of this team is right-click damage.
Yeah, E-Blade is... Yeah, I'm going to say the same thing. I think E-Blade is really strong. I think we are going to see a bit more. Well, I barely got my words out. The troll just completely got annihilated as he be jumped on by the Centaur, gets the stun. They do have the Stampede up. They're going to have to back away. Pango doesn't have the roll. He's got the axe, so that Swashbuckler's got extra damage. But here comes the Phoenix with the Sunray. That's going to heal him up a bit more. But look at this! Massive RP for the backline. They're going to be able to get the kill on Phoenix. But now they're going to have to try and get back at this. The Sunder's not available. As Nola's just been destroying this team. They've brought it back around. And a double kill for the Magnus as the Magnus just gets a magnificent RP on that Terrorblade and Phoenix. Wow, what a turnaround from Random.
I mean, that's why they call it magnificent, because a Magnus here is doing a great job. Now, Shaky, I think that is exactly what they can do. Honestly, though, the fact that they lost the Pango and the Troll, yes, they might have got a decent amount of kills, but when we refer back to other fights, this was the best fight for the side of Woofers that we've seen in a long time. So even though they lost it less than they've been losing others. So this could be a little showcase, a little hint at what is to come. But as you pointed out, this Magnificent might be able to just keep it going. And I think LoL is single-handedly carrying their team on their back right now.
No, he definitely is. Without a doubt, he definitely is. That RP, again, on the Phoenix, that's what you needed. The RP needs to land the Phoenix. If you grab anyone else with that Phoenix, that's a bonus. You are getting extra credit for your ability to use that. So he managed to grab the Terrorblade, which was in a terrible position next to his support. Yeah, no Sunder available to use. He was just stunned for too long and turned the fight around really, really quickly. So, man, do I love games like this?
Yeah, these are some solid games. And now, I mean, even though the kill difference is only 7, we're seeing an 11k difference in money. Lots of investment has been kind of earned and lost at the same time, but what is Radiant to do? They're going for the scan. They know that it's about to be a big fight down bottom. And honestly, I think that they should be able to rotate over in time, but they're up against a troll. That Roche could be dead already. Yeah,
it's been 10 minutes. Roche is definitely up. Troll's going to eat through that so quickly. And like you said, it's gone. That's a cheese for them now. I don't know who they've put that cheese on. Satanic's up on the Troll, which is just disgusting. Pango's net worth has gone above the Terrorblade, so he's falling behind really badly. And it does look like we're going to see a Silver Edge on Creeper, but I don't know really what they can do further than this. Big jump in. They do have a lot of damage being dealt with. Do remember, though, Troll does have that Satanic, and it's going to be able to pop his ult. But look at the RP land on the backline. That's going to be massive. As the Sunrise there from the Phoenix is going to try and get the stun down. All they need to try and do is buy time for the Sunder as it connects on Sensitive. But Sensitive's got that Satanic up, so they're not going to be able to do anything, as only the 2 supports are left standing. And again, the Dream Team random makes it happen as they land such a beautiful RP.
Yeah, and that is going to guarantee them not only bottom racks here, but it should guarantee them middle as well. After you take this, you don't have Fortify. This Fortify was very early used. Hell, they might be able to end the game now. But 30 seconds. Troll just melts through these towers, though. And that's going to be an easy double rack down. Top and bottom is going to be cut up from top to bottom. And now we only have really 15 seconds. Can they even... They can get top 2. They have enough time.
They can get Megas, yeah. They got enough. Tough, man. No buybacks, really. All they have is on the Centaur, but, I mean... Terrorblade's been focused on getting that Silver's Age. So he doesn't have the money. And this is tough. They can comfortably walk away. They don't have to fight. They still have Ages. 3 minutes 20 on Ages. So, yeah. Really comfortable for them.
Wow. And there we go. Another kill. Lol. Just... It makes it look free because it is free. This Phoenix, we kind of talked about it a while ago, but not the best hard support pick. I think the counter pick from the Troll, very big. The thing about picking Phoenix first, which is what happened, they first picked that character, is you get easily counter picked. And if Phoenix gets counter picked, there's not much you can do.
It is, but I think it also boils down to the Woofers just not being able to position themselves well enough. I haven't seen them really put the core has been too much frontline. Centaur's jumped in for those big fights. Metamorphosis have been popped, but when he pops it, he stands next to the Skyroth, he stands next to the Phoenix. They get the egg off, but there's no real stun lock for this. And you know, we said that we are saying Woofers are going to win this game. They were going to win this game if they played positionally better. And unfortunately, I think that's just kind of costing them a bit too much right now.
Yeah, and to back up on that thought, we saw that they took so many fights they just couldn't win. They didn't have their Terrorblade with them, but how many times did the Centaur and Phoenix and Sky jump into a fight that they couldn't take? 5. 5 different early game fights cost them this game, and they just fed too much. Honestly, it's feeding and saying someone fed is a harsh thing to say in a MOBA, but it's what happened. Case in point, there's some free food.
Yeah, buyback's going to be popped out. The roll-up's going to get kind of baited. Yes, stun's going to come through as well. They got the Metamorphosis with the damage, but it's not going to do much. So the Egg's going to come through as well. The Sunray, but that's not going to be enough damage. It is going to be indeed. Sensitive hasn't even popped his Satanic yet. He's still got so much left in the tank. Sun is not going to be able because the RP is there. That is connected. Buyback's going to come through from Centaur. He doesn't going to be able to get anything, but because, yeah, there goes Kems. He gets a triple kill, but Troll's still alive, and that is going to be a GG, Edu. And unfortunately, that's going to be the end of the road for Woofers. What a interesting game.
Not yet. It's a best of 3.
Yeah,
so the end of that road. But they got to pick something different. It needs to be some kind of adaptation. I think if we look back to those picks and bans that they had, they just Googled what is the best bans in Dota 2 and clicked on the first article. All of their bans were not team specific. So now that they have seen what this team can do, now we should be seeing some accurate bans. You compare that to team random bans, they were banning specifically things they didn't want to play against, things that were better for their team comp and thinking ahead, not just, oh, what's meta right now that I don't want to have to deal with.
Yeah, no, man, I honestly thought Woofers had that game. I honestly thought it was just... Damn, it was just the positioning of Woofers just it disappointed me, man. It let me down. I'm going to be entirely honest with you. So I was hoping for a bit more action than that, but all in all, congratulations to Random for winning that first game. Like I said, it's the best of 3, so I want to see how they bring this back. Do they keep banning the Spirit Breaker, or do they still? But yeah.
Yeah, I think that they are going to go for some decent bans here, but what we are going to do is we're going to have to give them a little bit of time to think about what they're going to be going into. So stick around, everybody. We'll be right back with a quick break. Game 2 is going to be starting shortly, so hopefully we'll see you soon.
do this Abu Dhabi! Let's 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 do this Abu Dhabi!
And welcome back, everybody. Game 2 right around the corner. And Game 1 had a lot of questionable decisions that we had to watch, but it also came down to one team that was able to take a very prominent early lead. And that, of course, is Team Random. Woofers has a lot on their plate. But my name is Edu, and joining me yet again is Shaky. Shaky, are we ready for this Game 2 action?
Man, I've got a pot of honey next to me because the action was a bit wild in the previous game. We saw Team Random absolutely dominate the mid to late game, and I feel like Team Woofers, they had a chance, but they couldn't pull through, man. I wanted to see a bit of better positioning from their side, but yeah, I think we're in for quite the game, Edu.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, what we're seeing here is probably going to be the most difficult team comp that we've seen from these guys, as they just realized we can't go for what we want to play. We have to go for counter picks. Woofers got a harsh reality that if they first pick Phoenix, you better ban Troll. It is a tough combo. And also, Magnus has been a staple of so many high-level games recently, especially off the back of the Team Spirit win at the International. I was watching that live, and Magnus, dude, put that staff, that pole axe where it don't belong, where the sun don't shine. And now we're looking at a tough game here if they can keep these characters going. So maybe, just maybe, let's not waste our bans on some, substandard characters and start maybe focusing on these specific players that you have to worry about. Grimstroke, get rid of the guy. Team Random has picked Grimstroke every chance they have gotten. So, this is not going to be easy, but let's hopefully jump into some highlights here and see exactly what we're talking about when we say you might want to shut down this Troll, as he already is getting so many kills.
I mean, evident. We saw in the beginning of the game, it was so difficult for him to not do good in this lane. With Skyroth's mage there, I think it was an interesting pick as well. Touching on that as well, Skyroth just wasn't really what he needed with that Centaur, so didn't really do the damage that was necessary to try and stop Xavier from getting that important stuff down. But looking at the highlights, there was so much action happening. Habibi, I think he struggled a bit with his roles. There was a few ones like this one that he actually might have been able to, get what he needed to do. And get those important stuns down. But generally speaking, just from the positioning here, Centaur, he spent a long time running back and forth, not really knowing where he needs to go. And it just allowed the whole team to TP in. The Phoenix Egg didn't really do well. We saw a lot of Phoenix Eggs, Edu, but we didn't see it do very much, did we?
Yeah, and that's what happens when there's a Troll. I mean, it really comes down to that simple explanation. Phoenix can't do anything because you're dead. Your eggs popped. The guy just gets to hit you and hit you and hit you and beat you. And case in point, that's all we saw the entire game, plus RPs. So when it comes to ultimate value, the ultimate value came out of this Magnus. Really just locking everything in. Great RPs. Here's another one for you. Locking everything down and just being consistent with it. I don't think we saw one failure to land their utility and land their abilities. So honestly, I'm hoping in this next game, we're going to be seeing something to counteract that. I would expect Silencer being a really large pickup here to maybe turn these players on their head. A ban on Grimstroke would be nice and large here, but what are your expectations moving in? What do you think is the main takeaway from game 1 that you should be taking away if you are on the team of Woofers?
Well, the takeaway that I want Team Woofers to take away from this takeaway would be basically try and avoid Team Random from getting anything and can lock down your entire team for long periods of time. If you put something into that pos 3 role that can really lock you down, Magnus was a key point of that. But Magnus, Spirit Breaker, Brewmaster, you don't really want to give these cores away. But the same thing being said as well for cores. Even though we had this thing where Woofers played for this 4 Protect 1, no matter how much farm that this Terrorblade could do, it was no match for the amount of fighting that was happening and the amount of gold that Troll got from that.
Yeah, no matter what, we are seeing some pretty scary stuff here overall in the game. As you said, Troll just got too carried away, couldn't be stopped. I mean, you could kill the guy, but it didn't stop him from being able to immediately just come back. And it's just, honestly, Magnus carried. I mean, every time, every one of these highlights is just Magnus getting an RP. Every single one.
No, without a doubt, though. Like, that BKBs and the Magnus helped him deal with the Phoenix Egg really well. So he was the front line. He was able to just jump in straight away. This is a good example of how they managed to kind of do something, but Random were always ready for no matter what. No matter what was thrown at them, they always had an answer. The stuns were there immediately the whole time. No matter even the Sunder, sensitive. Like, this is why I wanted to see a Spirit Vessel on Phoenix. If a Spirit Whistle was bought, it would have helped them out so much. They got an urn, but that was pretty much, I think, as far as they came to getting something. So yeah, it's a tough one, but I do hope that Woofers gives us a nice little second game so we can go into a best of 3.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be an interesting best of 3. Can we get there? If they have a repeat of today, if we don't see anything to counter a Magnus pick, a Troll pick, or a Grimstroke pick, the answer is no. And then we know that Team Random is not going to be suckers twice. If we recall, they already had been kicked out of a qualifiers before. They already were able to lose. So that's scary. I mean, now that they're in a position to really rock it in, lock it down, and get themselves to the playoffs, I'm hoping that I'm going to be over in the actual LAN event to cast these players. I want to see them go all the way, because with gameplay like this, they have what it takes to really just keep it going. And I will say, we didn't see any real mistakes on their team. Like, nobody was out of position. No one missed too many skills. It was just perfect. Dota played to perfection. So, Shaky, as this next game going on, as you asked, I don't know, or I don't think that we're going to be seeing a game 3 here. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I always say when I cast Dota, excuse me. I always say when I cast Dota, I am extremely keen to see best of 3s happen. Just like, because best of 3s, it's a story, isn't it? There's a comeuppance from the underdogs. And looking at the itemization here, just to quickly touch on what I said earlier, no, a Spirit Whistle was not built on Phoenix. It was an afterthought. I think the Midas was instead bought, and it looked like they were maybe looking at getting like a Hex or something, but it's just, man, the itemization was a bit tough.
A bit tough. I mean, I'm sorry for cutting you off. There is not a single item that can deal with the silence. Not a Yule's.
Nope.
Except for a Manta. Not a Yule's. Not a Lotus Orb. Nothing to deal with it. Not a BKB in sight. We got an Octarine E-Blade ES before we got anything even close to being built like a Scythe.
Yeah, and the BKB just stops the E-Blade. I don't think that Earth Spirit wanted to focus on Troll. Earth Spirit primary target probably was trying to go after that Grimstroke, but that with a roll up taking a bit long to get to the Grimstroke, that Blink was just a fantastic pick. Grimstroke didn't have any items except for an Aether Lens and a Blink, but literally the second lowest net worth in the game. But oh my word, they did amazing. Most amount of assists, 23 assists on that Grimstroke, and it's just really evident about how much you can impact the game without even having to have any items. So I'm keen to see Woofers to try and bring this back, but I also want to see what Team Random's going to use. Are they going to go for the same amount of play? Are they going to try and push out that Magnus? I think only time will tell. I think the Troll was an afterthought. They really thought about that draft. If I remember correctly, it was about a 20-second reserve time that they had left after everything. So I think they might have a different plan going into the second game.
I hope that we are going to be seeing something different here, because as we talked about a lot, game 1, not their best showcase. And what I would like to see different is just down to their picks. We thought that they had won their picks a little bit early on, and then the Troll came out. I mean, it was as simple as that. Magnus being the final pick to make the Pangolier work. That's always great. And I will say, I'm happy that we actually saw the Pango lock it down there. It's not every day that I get to see a Pango actually be fully confident in their itemization abilities and their way to play mid. And you compare that over to the ES, who I would say dude had so much money to work with. An E-Blade and an Octarine aren't cheap, and that could have been any other item to help their team. So itemization, it is what makes Dota 2 Dota 2. It's not League of Legends. Our items actually do things, so make sure to pick them up. Have an ability to lock someone down for 3 seconds. Have an ability to silence someone. It's so strong. You just have to know how to use it, and it's so frustrating when they don't do that. So hopefully we are going to be getting into this game soon, and I gotta see what they are planning on building, because if they're not building something good, then they aren't going to be building anything at all in a playoff stage. But we are getting straight to that game soon, so let's actually see.
Definitely. And
God,
we're really back into it. All the bans are there. All the two of the supports have been picked out. Woofer fans are going to double down on the Phoenix. We are going to see a troll. They didn't even ban out the troll, Edu.
I gotta point out something. Woofer fans saw that their teammate did so bad on ES that they banned it for themselves. I mean, what? I've never seen that before. Okay, and there's the natures. I knew it was gonna happen today. Has to happen.
It has to.
It has to. They even banned the Centaur. 2 picks that they previously had brought to the table, they have banned. So maybe they were picking those characters to get them away from Team Random. But Centaur and ES aren't that strong to warrant a ban, in my opinion.
You know what this tells me, though? I think they picked those up because they did some research, and that's the heroes that Random likes to play a lot. That's what I think. I think that's the only reason why they would pick it and then ban it for the second game.
I guess that can make sense. I will agree with you there. There's a lot of opportunity in that moment, but I gotta repeat though. ES, it's easy to counter. You get any hex, any silence, and ES is stuck. A Rod of Atos shuts him down, and a Rod of Atos is probably going to get picked up if you have a team like Nature's Prophet. NP does so good with the ability to just completely lock people down with either Root or others. But honestly, I like the Kunkka pick a little bit better than I like the CK pick, because Water Park Kunkka, the meta that we have been seeing, the way that they've just been able to just make it work. They have so many Torrent Storms, being able to really just completely throw a wrench into the cog there, turn it into an RTS style, just dodge everything game mode. So I like the Kunkka pick, but we still are seeing the Phoenix and Skywrath, which I think are some weak picks if you can't combo very well. And they haven't banned Troll, so we know what's about to be picked here.
Yeah, for the sake of Dota still being a fun game, I want to see them not pick Troll. I want to see them make this work without picking that up. Lone Druid hasn't been picked, and it hasn't. Oh, it has been banned. Oh, I was about to say, Woofer fans banned out Lone Druid the game before, and I wouldn't be surprised if they ban it out again, and indeed they have. So yeah, man, I would have loved to see a nice little Lone Druid pickup, to be honest. Other than that, deal with the Phoenix. They're going to pick a troll.
I mean, they don't have any reason not to. They didn't have any problem with the troll last time. Magnus hasn't even been banned. None of the picks from last game, except for their own picks, have been banned. It's like they didn't learn anything. Woofer fans. I'm not a fan. I'm sorry, but that dog is cute, but this gameplay is not. It's scaring me here. And what do we get? An Ember Spirit for mid. I like that.
I like that.
I do.
I like it.
But Ember Spirit against the Skywrath, that's a risk one.
Again, Kunkka could be a flex pick. Kunkka could go mid. We've seen Kunkka being played mid. Maybe Ember's been picked up because they think that Kunkka's going to go mid. But I'm not entirely happy with that mid lineup just yet. If it's a Kunkka mid and if it's a flex pick, they can switch it around, because Ember beats Kunkka mid easy. It's so easy to counter Torrents, X-Mark the spot, everything with all of Ember Spirit's lineup. So I think Ember's really good against Kunkka, but that's pretty much where it ends.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at this game like a rock, paper, scissors match, this is rock, paper, Alchemist here. Alchemist is, in my opinion, so strong because he does the same thing Troll does without having to worry about getting, locked down, because Alchemist's regen is insane. His attack speed, I remember way back in the day, attack speed Alchemist was in every single game. I don't know if you remember, but back in like 2014, there was only an Alchemist in every single match. I think my record for the highest GPM is with Alchemist at like 1500 because I played it back then. It was just so broken. And now, seeing the Alchemist, we might see an Alchemist mid, because I doubt that he's going to be going safe lane. I mean, offlane Alchemist as well. It's very unique to know where these players are going to be going.
I think with Ember Spirit, you probably want to keep him mid. Legion is going to be on the pos 3 with the Skyroth Mage. So they've gone for that lineup, which is, I mean, one of the oldest plays in the book. That's interesting, to say the least, because they're going to still have the same issue as they had before, where Skyroth Mage wasn't able to keep the wraps on Grimstroke at all. So, are they going to be able to do the same thing with Legion? If not, Legions might be a little bit more squishier than Centaur. So, I'm not completely convinced that this lineup can be great. And I also think it might be an Alchemist pos 1, because Grimstroke with Stroke of Fate and Inkswell on Alchemist, and then they got the Acid Spray as well. It's a very, very difficult lane that I'm going to see in this, but something that I do want to keep my eye on. Looking at mid, though, we've got the pos 3. The bans are going to come out, which Faces Void's been banned out. That must be a fan favorite for Woofer. Luna's been banned out. Magnus been banned out. So they're probably going to try and ban out a pos 3 for random year. And if anything, is Brewmaster has been taken out, so that's not an issue. I wonder. I'm curious about what's going to be taken up this one.
Honestly, I think what is the final pick is something, the glue. We saw it as the Magnus pick, but they still need that team fight to lock it down. Tidehunter, Magnus is banned, so can't beat that. So we're going to be seeing maybe a very tanky, synergistic team. So I would expect a Tide. What other... Maybe even Enigma. Enigma could be the black hole that really puts it together on the side of Woofer fans. I don't think that if you're going against a Kunkka, you want an Enigma, but something to really just make a team fight a cohesive battle instead of just a run around and hit people thing that we see right now in random.
The problem is, I think Woofer is lacking hard carry at the moment. Legion Command can do only so much. You need a lot of damage outside of that. Woofer probably looking for a pos 1, in my opinion. I think the Skyroth Mage is going to be a support. With the banner and the Tidehunter, that's out. So random, oh man, it's tough. Templar Assassin, is that? Oh my word, my head.
I think that's the safe lane.
I haven't seen a safe lane Templar in a while. That's wild.
I've seen it a few times. It's either the safe lane or the mid. Kunkka is going off lane with Phoenix. LC is either safe lane or mid, in my opinion. TA should be able to really do a lot for this team. But PA, the team that needed to kind of group together, is actually going to be going for the spread out and brawl comp, which I kind of like. I don't think they have the same power that they do in team fights compared over to Woofer fans. Woofer has, of course, that Torrent Storm, which can really put a damper on these players. But if you're a PA with a BKB, you're just blinking in between everybody and killing them. So we should be seeing a BKB third item at minimum here. Let's hope that they are going to be able to do something.
Yeah, well, that's going to be a pos 3 Alchemist. That's really? Very interesting. Yeah. Okay. LOL was the Magnus player.
Huh.
So that's good. Sensitive was the pos 1. LOL was the Magnus. Habibi was the mid player. So that's gonna be a pos 3 Alchemist. Very interesting. Huh. Okay. I mean, I'm seeing a TA pos 1 and I'm seeing a Alchemist pos 3. I feel like I'm back in 2021, honestly. I feel like we've been shipped back to 2021. These are drafts that I used to see quite a lot. Then I think TA became a pos 1 really well, like really famous pos 1 in that patch. So, yeah, man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this game. We are 1 up for Team Random as they sit on the Radiant side. This time, Team Dire. On the Dire side, we've got Team Woofer. But we just want to say thank you so much for watching today. Please do not forget to subscribe so you can be a part of all of the action. Subscribe to Arena Esports, follow the updates. I assure that there's no other place on earth that this kind of amazing tournament happens. You'll get to see professional teams participate in the prize for showcasing skills. And I mean, they're going to take home like a prize pool of like 500,000 dirham. That's a lot of money for these teams. So yeah, if you guys are watching right now, thank you so much for tuning in today. And we do hope, me and Edu, that you're having a fantastic day and enjoying the Dota today. Well, mate, I'm excited for this game. Are you?
Oh, I'm always excited to watch some Dota gameplay, unless it's my own. But let's hope that we can see some decent rounds here for these players. Random, they can end it all. Of course, it is a little bit of a side switch. So previously, we saw that the Radiant was Woofers. This time, it's going to be Team Random. So if that is confusing to you, now you know. But what isn't confusing is the fact that this LC is going aggro, trying to find someone to pick off. And Radiant are... Oh no, they're not. They're only going to get one bounty here. Just kidding. Alchemist just swipes it and walks away.
Yeah, that's good for them. Alchemist needs those bounties, so 2 for them.
Wait, no, they only get one.
There's still one. There's one left. They're going to pick it up now on top jungle.
Yeah, so Woofer's got 3.
No, it's 2. No, it's 2 went Radiant, 2 went Dire.
Didn't? Oh wait, no. Yeah, Savior got one. Savior got one. Yeah.
They were going to take the one away from Alchemist, but he managed to click it away. So otherwise, that would have been 3 going to Woofers, definitely. A good start, mid, as well. I managed to push them away. And Kemp's, my eyes are going to be on you, mate. That Earth Spirit was an interesting play we saw previously. So I'm excited to see what this Kunkka's going to play. I did mention when we were looking at the draft, Ember Spirit, he's going to be able to counter a lot of the utility from Kemp's. I think Kemp's going to have to try and focus on using his both in Xbox to spot after he knows that Ember Spirit's abilities are down. Bot lane, we've got the PA, the Grimstroke in a lane. Grimstroke is going to have, I think, a pretty good time in this. We've seen PA is going to do well enough as well. I was saying, you know, Acid Spray with Grimstroke would be good, but having that PA, that blink with Stifling Dagger slow, man, Edu, that is going to do some serious damage in this lane.
Yeah, and honestly, it's a real pain in the butt when you're melee laning against a Kunkka. And you were right. I'm surprised that we got a Kunkka mid, but I think it is a smart play at the end of the day. But of course, Skywrath +1, and that's pretty solid. So everything should be able to kind of favor the Woofers in the early game. And I say that knowing the last time I said that, and it wasn't that way. But with how Kemps is currently playing the aggression here, it might actually line up with them.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tidebringer in any sense is a very, very broken ability. So he's got that for playing for him. And I think Habibi's been running into that a bit too much. There's a really good way to make sure you're... oh, good little first blood bot. That's gonna give them quite a lot, actually. Savior might go down. He's not going to go indeed. But that's a really good start for randoms. They grabbed themselves the pos 1. Yeah, a really good start, man. I'm quite surprised with that. I mean, am I actually the PA with that Inkswell is fantastic. A lot I'm having middle. But like I said, there's a good way to sort out your positioning mid for Habibi. Like, to try and stop that Tidebringer. I think he's just being... It's in the face the whole time, really.
That's smart. I like what we're seeing from them, but... one thing I do see is actually mid about to die? Or maybe turn it around. Habibi, do you have the ability to outplay this? Are you faker? No. He's dead. Oh, wait.
Oh, he's got the Searing Chain still up.
Oh, no, he's dead. I'm pretty positive I see a dead player when I see one. That's a dead guy.
Yeah, again, positioning, man. Tidebringer's there, and he just runs away. He can play around Kunkka easily with having all of that abilities up, but man, that was a tough one to look at, really.
Hold up. Savior should be able to get out. Are they close? Yeah, they're out. All right. I mean, that's a decent one.
Yeah, it's wild though. I'm actually the Acid Spray and Sprout from Furion. That's two really nice abilities that might actually go well together. LoL doesn't have the mana to deal with that, and it looks like Phoenix is doing a bit better this time. Around the TP is going to come out just in time. Acid spray. Wow. Okay, there you go. LoL being able to capitalize on that kill and does find the high ground. And it looks like Team Random, it's back and forth. We've seen both these teams struggling in the early game to really find who's the dominant pair. But you can even see Media Kems. He's just faking it out. He wants to put damage down. This Flame God's not going to do much for him. Oh, really good. And Edu, I was saying this earlier. If you're Kunkka, you want to wait for this Ember to use his Slider Fist. If that Slider Fist is down, then you can so easy to land these X-Mox to spot in turrets.
Huh. Okay. Well, looks like we are going to be seeing a decent amount here. So let me ask you this question. With how we're seeing the trade-offs, it's 4-4 yet again. Woofers has had a solid start. Are they going to be able to keep up with this once we see, the Alchemist get online? The ability that Habibi has to gank. Where's the value in the mid game?
Well, Habibi needs his 6. If he gets his 6, when he gets his 6, he can TP from lane to base and back really quickly, and he can keep up that sustain. When 6 comes up, he'll be completely fine against a Kunkka. So Kunkka's only going to be strong for now. That being said, though, Kunkka's doing a really good job at delaying that as much as he can. Top lane, again, Alchemist and them, they've been doing, I think, exceptionally well from Woofer's side to try and put pressure on this Alchemist, but I think they're overstepping just because it's an Alchemist offlane. They're kind of going, oh, this shouldn't be real. Alchemist is squishy early game, so let's just rush him. And they've done that, but Alchemist has managed to get a few pickups off. So I think it's all lanes are pretty much up for debate. Sensitive has got an interesting play with this Grimstroke, but again, that press the attack from Legion Commander is just so strong underneath all these creeps. And Woofers, they're doing a good job here. And I think this off lane's probably the lane for Woofers where they're going to be dominating the best.
I think you're right about that. Woofers has a pretty solid off lane, and if they can start scaling this level 6 soon, then they're going to be way happier. But Kemps actually misses the boat, goes for the dive, should be able to get the kill anyways, but no one's rotating, no one's TPing in for a BB's safety.
Oh!
And that's going to be a free kill on them. And unfortunately, a level 4 PA is not going to do much to a level 7 Kunkka. Now, the Kunkka might be able to turn on him and kill him, but wait, no. Kemps isn't going for aggression. He had the torrent, he had everything he needed, but he still got the kill and got out for free.
And he's waiting for that blink from Sensitive.
He almost killed Sensitive.
Yeah, that Tidebringer is just ridiculous. We saw it there happen. And the thing I like about seeing right now with Sensitive, as he knows that Ember's probably farming the jungle to try and get his 6 up, because that's when Ember's spike is. So what does he do? He grabs the power rune and he goes to find him. He gets him killed and again just puts Ember behind. And I think this is evident of a really good mid player right now, and he's doing way better than the first game.
Yeah, he's doing just perfect, and offlane doing it as well. Everybody, I think they shifted around who is where, and it is really showcasing in how the playstyle is. But now things are actually getting a little different. The ganks, the power of the Ember Spirit is online. They have the ability to just start jumping on players, and that is going to be a problem for them if they can't find a pretty fast resolution to it. And oh, beautiful TP. Nons is going to be able to maybe get this player, but yeah, there's not much that they can do. The ward was put down for all the info. Are they carrying a TP scroll?
Oh my word.
Oh, it's on
He's
cooldown.
got 19 seconds left. He's got a dive in 23. This is what horrible. See, you can't do that. You can Icarus dive out, but you can Sunray out, but he's gonna just bring you back.
Jeez.
Yeah, this is a back and forth, man. Trying to do as much as you can, but not really much indeed. But that, yeah, for anyone watching playing Phoenix, that's a very real mechanic. If you find yourself close to a cliff, just Sunray, and it buys you so much time until your abilities come back off cooldown. Mid lane, Sensitive, he's come mid to try and farm the farm being left out by the Ember, but that's going to cost him extremely dearly. And Kemps, man, doing so well compared to his abysmal Earth Spirit start from last game.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're not on Earth Spirit. I'm glad their team banned it, so Kemps didn't be tempted at all to get it picked. So that's good. But mid tower is going to get denied. They are going to be able to walk away from that pretty well. A little bit of a high five. Is that considered BM in this game? In my opinion, yes. But in the opinion of right now, the top lane, this Alchemist has actually been unstopped. Dude has a meteor hammer. So the meme hammer coming out and the timeout here. This is an odd combo, but
I like it. He's just straight up gone for that meme build where you max up your stun and acid spray, and all you have to worry about is just landing that stun. The stun is so long on Alchemist that you don't have to really worry about much. I think, yeah, it's something ridiculous. If I remember correctly, I think the max stun on it is like 3.2 seconds.
Wow.
So
pretty high.
Yeah, so it's a very large stun. Alchemist obviously also got a little bit of a rework with that corrosive weaponry that he got in his third ability, so you no longer have to actually level his gold. But no need to really focus on that, as all he needs is a stun and acid spray. And when that meme hammer connects, really good for pushing out towers, gives you that extra stats, and obviously just fantastic for. I think that the stun's also AOE. So if he lands an AOE, like a good stun, then if people are close enough, he could put on some good damage. Speaking of, he's throwing it right now.
Yeah, he should be able to get out, but I think with that pause, this should be a... Wait, you don't have... Where's your Icarus dive?
Oh, he's got the egg, though.
Yeah,
the damage is too much.
Yeah, no, too many people attacking. But TA's been beating up the Alk there. So the Alk wasn't actually able to do much. That's a double kill down. And already Woofers, they're doing significantly better this game. They're really locking it back. And unfortunately, that is a dead Ember. Skywrath, just one of the biggest counters to him. Unless you have the ability to get out. Good bait. Oh, but I don't think you're going to make it that far. No, they do. They're out.
He's got the speed. He's got those phase boots. So all he can do is run, Edu.
Yeah, it's the only item he has as well. So, I mean, at least the one item he did manage to buy this time is going to be an item that helps him stay alive, unlike a Midas Octarine Core. But, you know, tossing all the shade is possible. Let's see if they're going to be shading themselves top here. Oh.
Good dust buy as well. Nan's really doing great to try and put pressure on this. But, yeah, Creeper's going to be able to run away. Oh, does he have the stun range? He does, but
he does,
not
but
enough.
They could have killed him if they just landed the trees.
Nah, could have.
Could have.
He missed the sprout, though, which is quite unfortunate. That would have helped him quite a lot on that one. Oh, cheeky little play from Kunka. He's a bit deep here. There's 3 around. They might be able to jump. No, Habibi. Oh, they've got the stun for ages. Phantom is there as well. X marks? Edu? Do they have this?
Oh, that combo from Grimstroke, it makes it so they can't actually do much, but I like how even though they were tethered, they were so just well played in the way that they moved that it didn't even look like they were slowed at all. Just beautiful timing. Now, we do have this PA online right now. PA, instead of... Wait, going for a Battle Fury now, after Power Treads, after Orb of Corrosion, that's going to set you back a lot. So there's not a whole... Oh my god, that's the second sprout they've missed. Luckily, they have their team this time, but Nons, you're going to have to start landing that because it will become a make or break if you land those.
I think I see what he tried to do there, though, honestly.
Yeah, it's a little body
it
block.
looked like he tried... Yeah, it looked like he tried to block him from the stairs, but it just wasn't big enough. So
now, I wonder, does TA have a Quelling Blade? It's not a common item, but when you're facing a Nature's, everyone should be having a Quelling Blade.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do have indeed. Ooh, Sensitive might be in trouble here. Blade Mail's available. They have the they have the damage? They do.
Yeah,
Skywrath
Ultimate.
They got the Skywrath.
Yeah, ancient combo.
Literally. As old as the days of Dota itself. And this is what you'd like to see. I think this is the big difference between good teams and amateur teams. It's just the ability to stack.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, are they going to be able to stack it up this time? I think that they should be able to build it up. The funny thing is stacks are a double-edged sword because if you're not careful, you could be losing those stacks to the enemies. So you're going to have to be in decent coordination to get your team able to, you know, pick them up before they get put down. But right now, it's looking all right. They have a large enough setup. They're farming together. They're communicating well. Woofers is a different team than what we saw. And I think it really just came off of the back of banning the characters that they didn't play very well. You know, not even giving themselves the opportunity to. Moving themselves into this next one is quite intelligent. And now we should be looking at other things like this LC who can start picking up the paces now. I think that they have maybe 20 dual damage so far taken here. They might be able to keep that kind of energy going for us if they catch out this Ember, who really is not having a good game.
No, not at all. Ember's really behind. It's difficult for them because they really have to focus on to not throw this away. And this is for Woofers, because we saw them getting a good lead. They had about a 3k lead in the first game in the early start, and it got turned around by Random just having a good amount of push. Now, the Alchemist, don't really know when he's online. So he's got the meme hammer, he's got his stun. Probably needs a blink next. So there's that. Random don't have that Magnus type player. They don't have anything. The bans from Woofers have been so great. Even Tidehunter's been taken away from them. Centaur, Chaos Knight, Brewmaster, all these big players are forcing them into a really interesting role now. And I think Woofers, yeah, they've done a really good job at trying to push it back. But the game is not over yet. It's just started. And I'm interested to see what's going to happen from the smoke.
Oh, looks like that's what's going to happen. They catch out this Ember who's not having a good game. I think that's a level 8 versus a level 12. I mean, the XP difference is huge. So sending Kunkka mid, massive, but they still have the Alchemist who can build up enough. Looks like they're going for a blink into a Radiance. You know, it's an Alchemist, so they're definitely going to be able to farm both of those items, but as they're farming, their team's feeding. So they're not actually going to be able to do too much here. And they actually walk right back into the fight. Luckily, they don't want to go for that one either. But this is a pretty negative position. All of those stacks should give Alchemist his Radiance, though.
I think Alchemist is transitioning to a bit more of a bigger call, if you ask me.
That's what you have to do, though, when you have a Kunkka just completely shutting down your mid. When you don't have a mid anymore. Like, where's Ember?
Yeah. Very interesting. Oh, sensitive. He's going to get caught out again.
Oh, no. And the tips. Oh, that's toxic.
Yeah, this is interesting. This is a very, you know, this is the caster's curse, Edu. This is what happens, mate. You were saying, oh, you can't. I think this is a done deal for the series. And here comes Woofers, and they've just been able to really good early start. Looking at the draft, the more I look at Random's draft, the more I'm just really thinking, oh, this is so strong. But it's only strong if they've got a good start. If Woofers keep pushing the fact and they get these tier 2s, it's going to be so difficult for them to try and farm up their items. Sensitive is in a bad spot. Still doesn't have the Battle Fury 15 minutes in. The pressure's been applied to them even while the laning phase was still there at 8 minutes. And another kill is going to come through in the mid lane.
Wow. That's just... That hurts. That hurts to watch, hurts to feel. You can kind of feel the pain that these guys are experiencing. But now that we are looking at a big round here for them with Grimstroke down, Team Random, they put a lot in. Now, you can say that that's a caster curse, but in my defense, I didn't expect BB to get diffed this hard. You know, because here's the funny thing. What did you say about Ember Spirit, Shaky?
I did.
You said, oh, Ember Spirit, it's the best character to not have to deal with a Kunkka. Completely shut down.
I also said that Ember Spirit is only good against the Kunkka, and that's pretty much where it ends. So he has dodged 2 boats and he's dodged most of the torrents, but he's not a good against the Skywrath Mage. He's not a good against the Legion. It's just too much damage for him to deal with. So I honestly thought if Ember's positioning was better mid, it would have been fantastic, but it just isn't. But yeah, a little bit of action might be happening.
That's good. Now, what I am seeing is another ultimate. How much dual damage does this character have? 74. It is 17 minutes in. And they're going BKB. I like that there something changed in this team. Woofers, they didn't know how to build items last time. They didn't get BKBs. They didn't get really anything. This time, it's like did they switch PCs? Is Team Random now on like Woofers? Did they swap rosters halfway through? Because it's like a completely different setup here.
Yeah, Rosh is going to go up now. And yeah, man, I'm very, very, very excited to see like this game progress in the way that it has. Rufus has really proved to us that the first game was a bit of a fluke. They just needed to warm up going into this one. But looking at the draft so far, I mean, Templar, she's got her Deso up, she's got that Dragon. Lance, Blink is... She's halfway to the blink, basically, a little bit more over halfway. And Phoenix is actually doing something better this time. They don't have the troll that they need to be worried about. PA is not going to do much against it because they've got so much. Like, what did you say, Water Park Kunkka to deal with? Because Kunkka is probably going to go for that Ags next. It looks like he was going to go for it, but he's got a BKB lined up now. And Raiders has been built on LoL. Yeah, I'm still kind of looking at this Alchemist with the highest net within the game and thinking to myself, where is he fitting in to this? What are they going to do with him?
Oh, right now, I think the Alchemist, he's kind of the curve. Because Alchemist can buy Moon Shards and Ags for people and get the stats of the Ags. If he gets an Ags on this Natures, that's going to be huge for team fight with the Root. If he gets an Ags on the Grimstroke, that's going to be huge for the ability to team fight again. So I think that the main goal that these players need to be focusing on is what can I do without the farm, and how much can my can my Alchemist actually bring to the table here, as you're asking. So they're asking the same question, and that's where we're seeing the builds come through. Alchemist has transitioned from a stun team fight, maybe ganker, into Radiance full farm, get my team what they need. And what they also need to do is not die to that. I mean, that's 102 damage.
102. Wow.
Dang.
Yeah, so 9 and 18, 5k lead going to Team Woofers. Really good job so far in this best of 3. And they're doing a really good job at pushing this tier 2 now. If this tower, when this tower falls down, that completely opens up this top left part. Now they've got 5 seconds left for the Tormentor, and that also takes more utility away, more items away from Team Random, as they now have to deal with not having this on their side, and that is going to be quite unfortunate. That's a really good shot going its way towards Phoenix. If anything, I think they need to push towards Team Woofer's Tormentor.
I mean, they could do that.
I need to try and get it back.
So we're going BKB Alchemist. He's got his Blink Dagger. He's got what he needs. BKB also really close to getting onto LC here. If they can get those items as soon as possible, then their team's going to be a lot happier about just being able to push these players back a bit. But so far, so good, in my opinion. They're really able to keep this moving. But at the same time, we're seeing that they're splitting up. Smokes are going to be coming out. Their team wants to try to go for a gank and maybe catch someone off guard. However, that TA is actually not with the team. The TA is farming over by Ancients. So if they do get caught out, they don't have to worry about that Aegis at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're all watching this game right now with very close attention. And it looks like something is going to break out.
Nice.
That's massive. Yeah, that's good. So Mimam is going to be used. They do get 1 kill. Aqua Park Kunkka is going to use all of his abilities. That's not going to connect on too much.
Yeah, unfortunately, if right now we're seeing them fall back a bit. Team Random, they've assessed, wait a minute, if we just play slow, let our Alchemist get farmed, and not let this LC initiate, instead let us do the initiation, we're going to be okay. So with only 1 minute and 30 seconds left on this Aegis, they're not going to have an opportunity to actually push very hard with it. They might get a T2 from this if they push right now, but this is great from Team Random. They've really just given up space to take more in the long term. And now they have to split off because of the split pushing that ES is doing. I mean, Shaky, this is ideal in turning the game around. If they keep this up for another maybe 5 to 10 minutes, they're fine. And they might even kill TA now. TA is stuck here. No way to TP out because that Alk, but wait, no! He just barely TPs away.
Oh! Phoenix Egg!
Phoenix is dead. It's just 1 left. Oh my god, but this TA is doing so much damage. And there's the water park. And the boat dodge, but right into an LC, and they're going to be able to get that pick down. And LC with the Kunkka should be the cleanup crew to get the double kill. Where is the rest of them? Doesn't really matter. They managed to make it work. 2 for 2, and big picks indeed.
Dire's top tower.
Great job.
That was massive for Team Random.
Bottom tower.
They've just swapped over about 2 or 3k of net worth.
It's what you have to do. You managed to take out the Aegis, kill TA twice. I mean, killing him once is tough enough, but killing him twice says a lot. And TA didn't get anything out of that. No kills. All the kills happened after the fact. So all of those levels aren't going to benefit them whatsoever. So when it comes to the exchange, that is horrid here. And look at this split push. ES plus Natures. If it comes down to who can rat more, obviously Random's going to be taking it.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's Nans is just cutting waves the whole time, just standing behind this trees, looking for this, constantly trying to put pressure on these lanes, and that's exactly what you need to do. Oh,
No way. And dual damage. They are treating bottom jungle as a free farm ground. Like, it's just like, come here, big neon sign. Hey, come here if you want to get dual damage.
yeah, it's tough. It's really tough. Like, it's a feeding frenzy, but down at the bottom. I don't know what this game is so bizarre, dude. Like, one moment, Team Woofers they did really well, but I almost want to say that Team Random, we can't count them out just yet. I think the TA's damage is really intense. Like, that TA bursted that Alchemist shot really quickly. And Alchemist had to get out there as quickly as he could, and I think he got that with just a nick of time and a good ink swell as well from the Grimstroke. So they all managed to get these kills, and I think they got quite lucky grabbing that TA completely away from the rest of the team. But I don't think that Woofer is going to try and make that same mistake again. So now it comes back to getting these important boards, to say the least. As this Legion Commander is just able to walk into their jungle. I think this is the 3rd time now.
Yeah, I think the 3rd time. And then also we've seen Nature's Prophet get caught out a lot. That's when they got to the triple digit mark, is when NP got caught out. So we're seeing a little bit of a problem here in the fact that nobody's shutting down LC. LC has been really free reign. She hasn't died in quite some time, and that's going to be a problem that will kind of resonate into this next few rounds here. And
I mean, she hasn't died.
At all?
That kind of puts it. No, she's 8-0.
What?
Yeah, she hasn't died at all.
Oh, well, that's a problem. I want to solve that.
you think? I think that's quite severe. Quite unfortunate as well.
Yeah, it could be an issue if you know, but uh-oh.
That's not good. Oh, you can TP out.
Yeah.
He got it.
Oh, that is, I love that neutral item. Talking about neutrals, we actually haven't talked about them enough today, but with the current way that neutrals are, we've seen that one team has been very fast at getting theirs, and it really comes down to RNG, but Specialist Array on TA, one hit can take out a whole team. It's crazy that is only a tier 2 item, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a bit mad, really. They have a lot going for them right now, and I think this is proving to be quite an interesting game, as we do see an attempt to jump in. BKB is going to be down for that Legion Commander. As Curtin, he's going to have to wait about 80 seconds to be able to do that again. But they are like just waiting on the edge of this map, looking for an opportunity for a kill.
Huh. Are they going to find the kill, though? Looks like everybody's smoked up besides the Alchemist, and Alchemist is just walking down bottom, and they find the Silencer, and that's going to be a free pick, and they TP'd. So when they do respawn, they're going to have to walk back, and looks like we're seeing even more. What is that? You TP'd in, and instead, oh my god, they just take him out.
Not good. They got the slow. Do they have the stun?
They
don't have the shock. Oh, they do.
They do. And the godlike spree ends. Sensitive takes it too. That's huge. This is what you want for your PA. PA has BKB, has Battle Fury, has everything starting to go their way. So even though, yeah, they lost a little net worth, that's 2 for the price of 1. A little bit of damage dealt, but shaky. I mean, don't rule it out. Don't rule it out, but we can see something big here.
Yeah, that's kind of what you were waiting for. That's what we were waiting for, wasn't it? Like 9 kill advantage.
Dire's middle tower
And just couldn't save that one.
Couldn't do it. Won't be able to, and we're seeing a little bit of damage being dealt here. That's smart, but are you going to actually be able to catch Savior? You don't have any vision for it, and nope, no catch. And that's just unpunished. They get out for free, but where? Sensitive.
The BKB.
Yeah, you can pop a BKB, but you might get popped here. The egg is alive, and Creepa is just so much damage.
Wow.
Ouch.
That is ridiculous. That is just stupid.
Oh, don't do it. Don't make the same mistake your PA just did. Okay, you're out, right?
Nope. Blink in quick. They do have the chemical. BKB's going to be popped out immediately by Creeper. So Law's going to have to run away. Soulbite's going to connect on both of them. They won't be able to blink out immediately. Ult's going to be popped out. Oh, look at this. The Aquapark man himself. He's going to get that silence Xbox to spawn on himself. Oh, no, Kunka. Oh, no. You can't make those mistakes, mate. Oh, so many of us has done that so many times. Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, that's not ideal, but things happen. I mean, I get it. It's a smart idea, but wait, Alchemist is still going for core. Hasn't built any support items for their team. This is the off lane, currently the highest net worth in the game because it's an Alchemist, but right below them in net worth are 3 players. The differential between the top of this team and where your team is huge. So if you're not going to be able to contribute to your team bouncing back here, you might have an issue. Unfortunately, though, we're seeing 200 damage dealt or 200 damage captured. But wait, are they going to be able to grab him? He's BKB'd. He can TP out, but because of how much damage, he's going to Torrent Storm and now just have to stick it. Big damage here. There's the knife. It gets a double down, and that is the Alchemist TPing back in. They're cleaning house, and Habibi going for the scenic route.
Send me up high ground. A little bit of a Star Wars recreation that we're having here.
Okay, Obi-Wan.
Hey. It's a good analogy, all right? Swally used it when we were casting PUBG Mobile the other day, and I laughed. I couldn't stop laughing. It's not even that funny, but it was just good.
Yeah, well, this is the prequel to the playoffs right now, so hopefully we are going to be seeing some kind of gameplay relevant enough to being this Jedi Master. I need to see somebody really force things out here. And it looks like one player was forced out of the lobby with ping issues, so we have a pause going on. But with all the puns coming, so do we have Blade Moose coming back. Now, I will say, Squeak, this is not going to be easy here for these players. Now, I have noticed that the Radiant might be taking this game back. I mean, if we look at a win percentage graph, I think that they actually have huge divots and cuts into how efficient this this Dire side is. So far, Woofers, they have lost the lead. In my opinion, they have lost momentum anyways. It's going in the favor of Radiant and should be keeping that direction unless this LC starts being hyperactive in every fight.
Yeah. I think the biggest mistake Woofers is doing is Legion Commander is getting a bit ahead of himself. They've jumped in a bit too many times. BKB is going to get popped out. Oh no! Rosh actually bashed the TP away. Legion Commander has to run away. He doesn't have the TP. Phantom Embrace. They're jumping immediately on the backline. Legion Commander! Curtin! Curtin gets stunned by Rosh!
Jeez, that's not okay.
My word!
That's just unlucky. What are the odds that you get bashed? What is the percentage?
Through your BKB.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
Never in my time of casting have I seen that happen. That is so unfortunate for anyone.
I'm looking it up. Right now, it's a 15% proc chance to stun. So they just died on a 85% chance to not die. That's how I view that. That's cruel. And looking at that graph, Yeah, it's going back. It's uh-oh. And honestly, net worth, it's not even that far off. I mean, when you look at 6K difference, they're still like 80K into this game.
Yeah, if you look at any type of game, it's minute differences, small little mistakes that people make that can turn this around. Now, by no means saying that, oh, I want Team Random to win this. Oh, but sensitive. He's going to jump in. He might have to watch out. Kunka's there at the backline. Nad's going to jump in the wall. BKB is going to be popped up. The Torrent's going to be there. BKB from both. Creeper's also going to come through as well. As they now look at the Aquapark Master himself, popping all the towers. The one is going to connect on the backline. Torrent's going to come through. Here comes the boat. Here comes the BKB. Is he going to connect? No. LOL's going to come in, but the Phoenix X there. The slow is just too much for them to deal with. The edge is going to go down, but the BKB should still be good on LOL. The stun's going to connect on the backline. They don't have anything to use this. Blink out by PA. That's going to help him quite a lot, but the acid spread's going to land on the backline. But look at that stifling down, doing the coup de grace. The stun's there, but they have the damage to take out the spear. They do indeed in the backline, also losing out on Habibi as 4 of them go down. The cheese still available on the Alchemist, but they don't have anything to deal with this as Team Woofers managed to grab themselves a phenomenal team fight, and this should be these racks going down, Edu.
Wow. And if the tasks are going to be going down, I mean, this could be it. This could be the do or die, and probably the die here with a lot of damage dealt. So I said that they had a chance to make a comeback, but with how this is going, they should be able to take maybe 2 racks if they go all the way to top. There's no T2. And yeah, they are going to go all the way to top. And that's where they find the Alchemist. The Alchemist is online. That's going to be a free pick down, a mega kill. But the TA's not done. TA getting aggro here.
No BKB.
No BKB. And no real escape with the ward now down. A double kill. They got too aggressive and they didn't realize how powerful Alk is. And Alk's going to get a third here. Just keeps that damage flowing. Might be spooked away, but I don't think you can TP out. 6 seconds and then you have a stun. You got a Nature's TPing in and you have a dead Kunkka. Beautiful job. And yeah, they might have lost the racks, but they didn't lose the war. They're still online and Alk is just going back to farming.
My mouth is hanging open right now. What's happening right now? That was 1.6k that they got from that TA. With a further, probably about a 1.3 they got off the Kunkka. This is a good game, Edu.
Yeah, this is a great game. I mean, this is the game that you're gonna have to be worried about for a while here. But looks like some towers are falling. Do they have buyback? I mean, they're smart players. They should have buyback on the Kunkka, but I don't think that they're going to go to try to bait the buybacks. They're just going all T2s. They're taking out everything they possibly can. They didn't spot out the Skywrath, who was able to get out, and I love that. Honestly, Nature's Prophets... Sorry, Aghanim Shard is so strong. So strong against a team that has, like, a lot of escape power. So...
They fixed the hero, in my opinion. Nature's Prophet, Firen's been struggling for a while now. Ooh, Alchemist. Jumping in. Oh, he's going to get stunned immediately on the back. Finney's going to jump in. Is he going to pop his BKB for this? He is. He still has the cheese available, so it might be in a little bit too early. Phoenix! Oh my word. Firen actually with the ult managed to grab onto Legion Commander. Does he still get the ult on the backline? The stun, is it available? It is, but it's not going to do much. The damage is going to come through the backline. Habibi jumps in with the quick... Oh my word, a bit too much. But Phoenix is going to be able to help out the team. Push them a bit back. Alchemist gets slowed out. 2 of them get slowed out. Creeper creeping on forward. X marks the spot in the back. The silence is there to help out. Curtin jumping off forward. But look at Habibi trying to get focus on this TA. They're actually going to push him straight towards it, but they don't have any sort of catch here for that invis. Curtin might be falling down. Sentinel from able to grab that one. And now Kim's on the back line. They still have this unstable concoction. It's going to get on the back line. Look at this. They do have the ways to push it back. The BKB is going to be popped up, but the damage is a bit too much for them to deal with as LOL grabs another kill. And Creeper is going to have to blink away from that one. They do know where he is. They spotted him with the wards, jumping immediately with unstable concoction. Raider's going to burn him down. No way to blink away. Starving Days is going to come through. Not going to be able to do much, though. They do have the silence, but no. It's going to go straight for damage.
Wow. And that's what you gotta do. And look at that. From a 7k net worth flipped to a negative 1k. Huge difference here from these teams. And they're going to keep it going. The power of PA and Alchemist. They are late game characters for a reason. And they almost 2-hit a Phoenix. And we have buybacks forced.
Yeah, very Xbox spot. BKB's be popped up by the Legion Commander. The boat's going to come through as well as the... Look at... There's just so much damage being done on the backline. No stun available. And no Xbox to spot. So they're only going to lose PA. But that is a lot to lose. 1.2k gold going towards... Woofers.
Wow. And now what are they going to do? What is the plan next? With PA dead, we have buybacks forced. They have to push down mid and try to force PA's buyback to try to balance out the economy. But so far, so good. And looks like we're actually going to be seeing a nullifier and a radiance. Usually people disassemble their radiance to get a nullifier, but not on this elk. Alchemist is rich, can buy a second sacred relic if they want to. And a unique strategy, but is radiance that important? I guess against the LC, a mischance is pretty palpable here. But LOL still going for full buys, still wanting to try to just get their team as online as possible. I like what we've seen from them, but I think it's time to maybe start rotating over to supporting your team on Alk, in my opinion, because the stats are just so nice. You can tank yourself up so quickly. All it costs is maybe 2 to 3 Aghanims, and on Alchemist, that's 2 to 3 minutes.
I mean, he does have the AC, so that does help out a lot. But other than that, Luke's going to go for a Swift Blink here, which is going to give him more attack speed and agility. And oh, Therian, it's taking out a Creeper.
Oh, well, Creeper's down. And looks like they even got the wards too. So big moments there. They know that they want to push into Roche. Now, I think if they can get Roche, I don't think we're going to see another 15% bash moment. I don't think it's going to happen again. But is Roche even up?
I don't think so. I forgot to write it down, what timing it was. It should be up any second now. I think, yeah, 25 seconds still left. Probably till we know.
Well, that's smart. Because once Roche gets back up, then are we going to see a fight at the Roche pit? In my opinion, if they go and take this T2 and then they don't have much time to rotate over to the Roche side of things, but they're getting real antsy here. The entire team's grouped up. They want to get it going. This tier 2 should be falling pretty soon. We still have a Wisdom Rune top, which could open the door for maybe someone to lock it in, but I mean, no one on Radiant. Actually, no, they finally realized they have to take Torm and they have to do Roche. This is, it's do or die right now. And they already smoked, so it's going to be Roche first.
Yeah, so there's a minute left on that Roche timer, but the teams do not know them. It's all just purely on what they wrote down when their Roche got taken. So they do have the timing, but like you said, the smoke's going to come through as they look for anything here. Creepers on the back with the invisibility. Can't spot him out, just unstable concoction is going to get thrown out. Looking for a play, but they're all hiding in the trees. In fact, here comes a big play on the back. They do pop the ult from Alk, so they're going to have to back away. Aquapark Kunka is going to use that. They do have the Hex going to go straight onto Habibi. He's going to get absolutely beamed down by Creeper as the egg gets popped out. And here comes the duel in the backline as well. They do get the soul bounce, but not going to be enough. Does Sensitive have enough damage? He does indeed. He take out Curtin. He's going to jump straight back in. He's got the heal, but no, the Sprout is going to divide him as Nan could have actually possibly killed his teammate, but it doesn't matter as LOL is just so fat right now with farm. As he gets a triple kill and cleans it up for Team Random. Where in your life have you seen a pause 3 switch to a pause 1 and then just carry the game?
I mean, I've seen a lot in lower ranks, but not at an event like this. I don't see it very often because it's understandable though. The PA had a rough start. The Ember Spirit had a rough start. So whoever on that team made the call, whichever IGL decided, hey, you're going to have to switch now, that was a decision 20 minutes ago at minute 19. So this is big, and they don't even care. They're going for end, and they know that they are scaring them. The Fortify is wasted. Now they got to take these as well. Such a smart play, and they're just going to go right back to it. They might end the entire game, and a buyback's brought out, but hey, you might want to be careful buying back. This is a very power-hungry Alchemist who is going to just be... Oh my god. Yeah, it doesn't even matter.
That's it, though. That's it.
This is the game.
Ladies and gentlemen. That's GG.
Oh my god. Phoenix went for a drive-by, but that's it. I mean...
What?
Solo. One team member said solo. They were qualified to playoffs. That's how you win $1,200.
I am shocked right now, Eddie. I don't have any words, mate. What did we just see happen?
Alchemist is what we saw happen. It's
Yeah,
very
but-
rare that you see an Alchemist picked at this rank, and it's why. It used to be an insta-ban. For a long time, it was not something that you wanted to see on any team. And now it's kind of fallen out of meta where people forget Alchemist is a thing. And it's back here, apparently. And also so strong that it ends the game just like that.
Yeah, that is honestly, I think that is such a good ending to this matchup. This best out of 3. Team Random has done such a good job at showing that at the end of the day, if you give us way too much space, this is what happens. And when the chips were down, they kept fighting towards making sure that everything needs to work out the way it needs to work out. Like you said, whoever gave that call to the Alchemist saying, "Mate, buddy, you're gonna have to step it up. Go for those strong items, get everything that you need. You are going to be our savior for this game." And they stepped up. LOL, through both games, I think if I were to say MVP for this game would be LOL. On the Magnus, on the Alchemist, just phenomenal player. Really well done.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you have to do, and that's what you did, and that's what they did. So now I'm looking at hopefully Team Random making it to the playoffs and being able to get vengeance against Team. We saw Team do a great job to get where they were. Team Random has the ability to maybe make it up and really push their way through this. So unfortunately, Woofer's fans does not make it through today, but there's still going to be a qualifier number 3. This is only qualifier number 2. So Woofer fans, we might be able to see again. But after that showcase, after game 1 especially, this is going to be a game that they would have to VOD review. This is going to be a game where they're going to download the match again. And they have a lot to think about. Obviously, how they kind of lost it in that mid game. You know, what fights did they take? Was it because a Roche bashed them? Was that the only reason that they lost? In my opinion, it was a bad idea to go for Roche solo. But Shaky, we're done. That is it for qualifier 3.
Mate, I have to say first off that we have to be careful when we decide on who we support to turn just purely by their logo.
Yeah. It was a cute dog, but apparently a dog isn't very good at playing Dota. They don't have opposable thumbs, but they were good enough to get to the finals. All right, that's a statement. They still may walk away with enough money to buy a dog bone. All right, head to PetSmart, get yourself some nice treats. But
a new logo.
And a new logo. Oh, wow.
No,
maybe a new coach.
I'm kidding.
But anyways, let's see what happens. This is not an ideal play style. It's tough in my opinion, if you get to a finals and then you get 2-0'd in that fashion, there's a lot to think about.
Yeah, it is. I think it was such a crazy 2 games, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. But essentially, what I feel like really got them down for Team Woofers was the inability to keep the momentum going. They had such a strong start in that second game. They had a very weak start in the beginning of the first game. They kind of got it back, but they didn't have the right comp of the team. So to be fair, the first game, the draft just wasn't up to it. Mm-hmm. The second game, they didn't have any excuses. The draft was phenomenal. They did so well mid. They did so well top lane. The Legion commander absolutely dominated the supports, had over 200 damage on duels. But they couldn't capitalize on that advantage that they had. And all that they did is that they gave Team Random too much space. Team Random got the farm that they needed. No objectives were pushed. Team Random didn't even have to take a rack. They just pushed straight for the tier 4.
I mean, if you're strong enough where you can just kind of push your way all the way through, you deserve the win, in my opinion. And they did. So good job. Keep that kind of gameplay going. And now we should be able to see hopefully more gameplay like that from Team Random in the future parts. But so far, so good. I will say, though, I'm a little bit concerned about their early game there. I'm hoping that they are going to learn something from that. But at the end of the day, they managed to win. Congratulations to them. And also congratulations to everybody for sticking around all the way to here, because we got some amazing sponsors that make it work for us. AD being a wonderful player in here, as well as Playtonia being able to be there for us, so we could be in front of your cameras, or in front of our cameras, and in front of your monitors to have some fun. But Shaky, I think that is all that we have for today, unfortunately. As much as I'd love to keep casting Dota with you.
Yeah, I think that it's been quite phenomenal to be able to cast. We still have a few highlights to come up with as well. We've got a scoreboard to look at, and a little bit more opportunity to talk about the experience that these teams have had. But looking back at it, it's kind of the feeling that we get, isn't it? Like, you know, it was such an emotional roller coaster going through those two games that you kind of just want to be like, okay, that's done. You know, I'm tired. I feel like I'm expired after those games. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure casting with you as always. And these games really have been a surprising ending to so many expectations that I've had going into this. I always want to see a best of 3, and honestly, I was quite quiet in that second game because I was like, is this really happening? Are we going to really see a best of 3 happen? The first one in the series that I've casted? No, unfortunately not. Team Random was just too good.
Yeah, they were incredible in today's games, and I'm hoping that is where we keep our minds on them. If that's the idea that Team Random has, I want a random team to win when it comes to getting all the way through. I mean, this is a tournament with 500,000 AED. I mean, that's a lot of moolah to be rolling around in for these players to try to have a shot for. So if they can keep this up, if they can keep moving on, we're going to be excited to see where they go. Maybe bigger and better, and continue into not only the grand finals for Arena Esports, but make a name for themselves as a team, as that is the main goal of playing Dota professionally, is you got to make a name. You know, are you going to be the next W33? Are you going to be the next Dendy? You know, who knows? This could be the starting place for a lot of these players' careers when it comes to the bigger and better. But I believe that is all that we have. I know, did we see highlights, or am I for just blanking on that?
I think we're about to see some. Yeah, There we go. So we do have a few going to roll through. So yeah, it was, like we said, really amazing start to Team Woofers. They really dominated in the early game. That Legion Commander was so strong in this lane. And PA Grimstroke, even though it's a good combo in itself, I think the Wombo combo of having that Legion Commander and Skywrath Mace is just phenomenal. I think our BB did good. He obviously struggled a bit mid as well. I said that Emberspirit's good against Kunkka, but his positioning was a bit lackluster, and he was taken out really quickly. The core on TA surprised me quite a lot. I think that the damage that she was putting up was just crazy, but it kind of... I feel like TA falls off as the pos one. You have the damage, but you're in a position where you need to be in and out of fights as a pos one, and TA doesn't really have that. Kit doesn't allow it too much. Yes, she bursts down a lot, but it's nothing like a PA or an Alchemist.
Yeah, you're right about that. And this actually kind of harkens me back to when I was talking to some buddies of mine who still play Dota pretty active. And their assessment of TA in the safe lane is it is a greedy pick. And the reason for that is it takes a long time for TA to get online. You need to have your Desolator. You need to have your Blink Dagger if you want to even be able to attend a fight. And when you do finally attend a fight, you need a BKB or else you're just going to die. So you need 3 items at the minimum to even show up to a fight, and you're still squishy. So it's a greedy pick because you have to rely heavily on the fact that you are not going to do anything for your team up until the late stages. And if we remember this game, the early game, the TA did nothing against Alchemist. And now what happens in this game? Alchemist reigns supreme. Case in point, Karipa can't do much against the PA, can't do much at all. And that is why they really lost it. So I agree with you. The pause 1 TA was a very bold pick.
Very bold indeed. And yeah, it might have worked for them. They had the Legion Commander to try and carry out as long as they possibly could before the TA can come online. But the Alchemist was the person that the Legion Commander had to compete with. And like we see there, at the end of the day, Alchemist popping that ult, you just end. That's all you do. It's just, we've seen it so many times. We were talking about it as well, 2014, is Alchemist being so strong, and he's still extremely strong. So Alchemist was able to take that out, take that win for them, and LOL, congratulations to that. LOL, if you're watching these replays right now, mate, MVP to you, really.
In both games. He was the Magnus as well. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Wow, what a range of an offlaner. But now I got to see that scoreboard again. I know that it's around the corner here. If we can get a look at that scoreboard and actually take a deep dive into what went wrong item-wise. Because as we know, Dota 2 is an item-based game. It's where if you do not buy the right weaponry, you are not going to be able to. It's don't bring a knife to a gunfight. Don't bring an Octarine core to BKBs. Happened in game 1. So we need to see where exactly they went wrong, and hopefully we can do our fancy analysis over all of that stuff here. But I also want to know, what's the GPM on this Alchemist? Like, I gotta see that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be quite crazy. If you look at it right now, Alchemist's GPM was just, it was crazy. 871. That's a lot. It's not nothing over 1,000 like you'd think it would be. Obviously,
it was nerfed.
I think, it was nerfed, but Alchemist on POS 3 still sitting at 871. That is a massive GPM for that. At the end of the day, Nullifier, Radiance, BKB, AC, the Swift Blink. I mean, how do you deal with a team like that? You don't.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is, the fact that PA bought an Ags instead of having an Alchemist buy it for him. If PA had 4,200 gold to spend on something else, that could have been, maybe a Moon Shard, maybe upgraded into an Abyssal Blade. Something like that. It could have been interesting to see, but having them buy it for their teammate alone is unique. I've never seen an Alchemist so committed to being the POS 1. They didn't buy anything for their teammates. No Moon Shards, no Ags, no wards, not a single thing. Just to make sure that they were fully sent on, you can carry us. We will be the wind beneath your giant wings. And they flew. So great game. And Shaky, I think that with that unique play style, they can keep it going in for a little bit longer here. But of course, they did win a lot of money from that as well.
Yeah, they did. And that again, we'll talk about the price pool and the roadmap in a second. And I want to touch on that in advance. People say, just for what was it 1,300 that they get for this win?
I think it's 1,200 for them. I can look right now.
So let's say it's over $1,000, right?
Yeah.
Your team winning over $1,000 for 5 players. That is just for still competing in this tournament. That's not even finals. You're winning money as you compete in each qualifier, and that is the difference between being able to make this into a living and playing this for fun. These teams are able to get net worth in their bank for being able to work hard and play for these games. And that's what makes Arena Esports and companies like this so unique, is that they partner up with a lot of companies and they give teams incentives to keep working. They put money back into the scene, and they from the ground level up invest. And it like we've seen, it makes for some seriously amazing teams and amazing plays that we've seen come out from these two teams. So if we look at the prize pool and the bet, there's no doubt about it that these teams are motivated to still keep competing. They are motivated to, like you said in the beginning, do that necessary research to find out what is the best play against these teams. And they are doing that. And it's phenomenal to see how they're using those resources to benefit themselves.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that what they can do with that is they take that money, put it in the bank. All right. Invest that, build it up, get some nice Dota skins. Come back, do it again next week, do it against that next month, do it again in the playoffs. I mean, I think it really does come down to show over tell, and that is great amount of earnings for them. So the prize pool here, if we actually do talk about it, is $1,200 with an asterisk. First place cash prize $650, second place cash prize $300, third place gets $150 in Arena Esports points and credit, and then the other side of things is going to be that their money. But here's the roadmap. So now that they get to move on, it's going to be so far Crown versus Team Random. Yeah. And we still have to find out who else is going to be there. So only 4 teams go on to playoffs, which is such a tiny amount.
Yeah, I mean, it's the monthly finals, Q3 and Q4 still to come up. Then we have the playoffs, and then we have the grand finals that will be taking a piece of the prize pool of 500,000 dirham. That is just amazing to think about. And we're so close as well. We saw that team versus Crown play up. We saw that game happen. And then now we've got Random versus Woofs as well. And they, now we've got 2 more monthly finals to go into. And then we've got into the playoffs, and it's a bittersweet ending almost. But we're still only halfway in, Edu, and I can't expect this to be even better.
Yeah, I think where we're currently sitting in how we've seen gameplay, it's only going to get better. You know, it's kind of like AI. This is the worst it's going to get, guys. So stick around. Make sure you're following the YouTube channels. Make sure that you're also making sure that you follow all the social media if you can. Keep up with these teams because they are going to make it so we as casters can barely keep up with their great gameplay. So a lot is going to be coming on here, but as we have came on, we also have to come off. We are going to be sending it off online. We had an amazing time. It's been an honor to cast with you yet again, Shaky. It's been really fun to do Dota 2 yet again. But that's all that we have for today. So any final words for people at home?
I'd like to let everyone know, like I always say, thank you for the viewer watching right now. It's because of you guys that these companies can support the team. It starts from the ground up. So if you guys keep supporting, keep watching, keep interacting, keep subscribing and following the socials, that is where it starts. And so a big shout out to the viewers watching right now and interacting with all the amazing games that we've seen today. But from then on, also, big shout out to you, Edu. Massive casting today. We've had so much fun. And for the admin team behind the scenes in our ear, you guys, as always, do an exceptional job in making sure that we are on time, we are doing a good job, and that we know exactly what's happening. So, yeah, massive shout out to you guys as well.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you hopefully next time with 2 new teams battling it to the death.
Rushing through me, down low. Upstream, are you with me?